Yo, we got the Phillies choking with men on base. We got the Sixers struggling without their best defender. We're ready to go live. Hit the like, hit the comment, give us a comment, hit the subscribe. Here we go.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Welcome into the show, everybody. This is another edition of the Phlite Zone. I am back after a week hiatus. I am back and better than ever. I want to thank Tom, and I want to thank Evan for carrying the show on for us. The show must go on no matter what. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Phillies are looking very basic with their fourth and fifth starters and Matt Moore and Chase Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
We said it in the beginning of the season. We're probably going to keep on saying it, and that's probably what's going to make this team a average baseball team, 81 and 81. We have a guest speaker in the house today. Not even a guest speaker, a guest host. He's been here before. He is a friend from college, Jon Almonte. We will bring him in a second. But yeah, we got the Sixers on right now. They are struggling to defend Steph Curry, which is hilarious in my opinion because everybody's been bashing on my boy over the past month. And rightfully so. His offense has been atrocious, but I still think we underappreciate his defense even when he has those rough stretches. The show is brought to you by Body Check Wellness, a line of products promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. Come in extracts, blends, gummies, topicals. Just remember to use that promo code 420 because it's coming up tomorrow. And if you use our promo code, it will be 42% off. Just use the promo code 420. Let's welcome in Jonathan. Jonathan, how we doing today? Oh, shit. John, let me unmute you real quick. There you go.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing good, How's everything?
It's going. The state of the Philadelphia sports is it's struggling right now. It's struggling. Eagles have a draft in 10 days. We'll maybe get into that at the end of the show. I still think we got Devontae Smith. Others are saying Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, Michael Parsons. I want Devontae Smith. We'll get into that at the end of the show. But we got to talk about your boy Ben Simmons, John. We got to talk about your boy Ben Simmons. Evan?
No. What about him?
Well, that's the thing. Here's the poll because the poll relates to the Phillies, and it's just this team is just. I feel like it's the definition of average because they're missing three key pieces. They're missing that center fielder, they're missing the leadoff hitter, and they're missing the bottom part of their starting rotation. And if you don't have that, you're an average baseball team. Mm-hmm. And that leads us into the poll question is, will they make the playoffs? And it's kind of like a hypothetical because we see the Sixers. We see how great they've been playing all season. I'm wondering if we have enough firepower to make it through the playoffs and win 16 games. I don't know. I'm going to personally disagree to the poll. I'm sorry. I'm going to flip-flop at the last second. I'm going to agree to the poll. I think Ben Simmons is going to kick up in the playoffs, unlike you two. I think it was smart to not trade him for James Harden or any of the big names. It was not. It was a great move to hold on to him because he is the best defensive player in the league. He is a great pair with Joel Embiid. Him and Joel Embiid have looked unstoppable this year when they've both been on the court. And at the end of the day, who knows if Joel Embiid can stay healthy? That's why they haven't traded Ben Simmons. Because what is this team without Joel Embiid? You need to have at least one other player. And I feel like they think the 24-year-old and Ben Simmons, who can guard any position on the court, who is a jump shot away from being a top 5 NBA player, I think they have faith in that. I really do. So I'm going to agree to
That's
the
been
poll.
the same for all the Ben lovers the last
He's
5
24 years old, Evan.
Last 5 years. That's
24 years
You
old.
want to get him?
Let me just finish up my point. So that is why I agree to the poll. I think the Sixers will have a better chance at making the finals rather than the Phillies making the playoffs, just because the bottom of this rotation is just atrocious, and they don't have a center fielder. And Andrew McCutchen, he still is walking around like he has a torn ACL. Evan, I'll let you go for a second.
I like to agree to the poll. I think the Sixers are looking a lot better, even with injuries. I think injuries will make or break this team come playoff time. If you have everybody healthy, like Simmons is out right now, you have Tobias Harris with a knee injury, nagging knee injuries, and still got Embiid with his knee. It really just depends on all that. And who really knows? The Phillies might kick up. It's a long season. You never know, though, because it is the Phillies. They always come in first, and then like the second half of the if the season was half at what it was, we'd probably have a championship. Before last year, probably not, because they only win half the games. But yeah, I agree with the Sixers. I think they have what it takes, like defensively against the Nets at least. But it's interesting to see. We'll see though.
But it really just depends on Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
John, what is your thinking on this poll for tonight?
I'd say it'd probably be more likely for the Phillies to make the playoffs, probably get that second wild card spot behind whoever finishes in second in the NL West. But overall, I don't believe, and I think that's who's going to end up being the second wild card spot. But I honestly don't believe any of those two are going to end up happening. I believe that not having a 4 or 5 for the Phillies is going to kill them, because you're basically going into your 4th and 5th day knowing, all right, it's a loss. And that not only puts pressure on the hitting, but that puts pressure on the number 1, number 2, and number 3 starters. So it's a fan here. Somebody say hi, Jonathan. Hello. But,
It's been a long time, John. It's probably been a month since you've been on the last time.
Exactly.
We had a great show the last time you were on.
You lose a number 1. I mean, you look at your number 1, your number 2, and your number 3. It puts pressure on them, thinking we have to be perfect. If they're not perfect, they know, oh gosh, we're going to lose the series, because the 4 and the 5 aren't going to hold it down. So then once July comes and August comes, not only do you have fatigue, but pressure in your mind. It's that's why I say it. When the fall comes really.
Well, yeah, and John, we talked about this in depth maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the season started, right when the hype was coming up for spring training with the Phillies. We posed a hypothetical: was it smart to go all out on JT, or if we offered the right amount of money to Bauer, should we have given that money to Bauer? And I feel like if our starting rotation right now consisted of Zach Eflin being our 4 and Trevor Bauer being our freaking ace, this would be a totally different team, because you could pick up a catcher anywhere. I know JT is the best catcher in baseball by far, but when it comes to the fact that Matt Moore is struggling right now, and he was just pitching in Japan less than 9 months ago, when you have a 4 and a 5 that do exactly the same thing and that just flat out suck, you're not going to make the playoffs with a starting rotation like that. So they could maybe try and build it together, piece it together before the trade deadline. But these games that you're losing, that sweep to the Mets was just terrible. I think you really should have gotten 1 out of 3 from that. Because those games matter. At the end of the day, every single game matters, especially when you've been an average baseball team over the past 3 years and you've missed it by a few games. So every single game that you lose, especially when you're fighting for that second wild card, every game matters in the MLB when it comes to a team like this.
Yeah.
Now,
the only thing I have to say about that one is that JT he's been pretty decent on the offensive side. He's been great catching, but like those games we lost were because of bad hitting. Like we weren't hitting those games. We were not hitting. You had McCutchen going like 0 for 4.
Oh yeah,
bum. You got Reese Hoskins, who's not clutch, like you said before the podcast.
He's not.
Harper, he's kind of inconsistent. He'll have his 3 for 3, but then he'll also go like 0 for 4. So,
can I speak on why I think? Because I spoke on the Philly side, but then in terms of the Sixers, I do see the Sixers making it to the conference finals. In my opinion, I do think they'll make it to the conference finals, but I just believe I don't want to say what I usually call him. I usually call him Ben Jenner. I'll respect him and call him Ben Simmons on the podcast. I do believe him not having a jump shot and not being aggressive enough is going to kill them in the playoffs, because when they're sending these double teams and triple teams, it won't be Kevon Looney and Andrew Wiggins coming at him. It's going to be some elite players coming at him. And when you're doing it for 7 games and they're game planning for you, eventually you're going to have a bad game. And unfortunately, B won't be able to afford a bad game against a team like the Nets. Whereas Durant can have a bad game and Harden and Kyrie can snap. Harden can have a bad game and Durant and Kyrie can pick it up. Vice versa for any of those 3. When you look at Embiid, if he has a bad game, who's going to pick it up to the level that those guys are going to pick it up for him? Because as we can see,
it's going to have to be Ben Simmons. It's going to have to be Ben Simmons. And that's what I'm saying. He's going to be shooting that ball at the top of the key.
When has Ben shown us that he can even be a number 2?
Before the All-Star breaks over the past 3 years. Everybody has said it. We've seen him play at that level. So and everybody says that he does that because he wants to be in the spotlight during All-Star weekend.
Jimmy,
so his motivation should be the same once the playoffs start.
You know what I call that?
Is that a smart hypothesis or is that not a smart hypothesis?
I understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying, you know what I call that? Ben Simmons, he has different modes. He has beginning of the season not caring mode. Then he has a 3-week mode, which is make the All-Star team Ben mode. And then he has post All-Star Ben mode, which is, okay, I made the All-Star team now. I can relax and not play at all. And then he has playoff Ben, which is, I'm going to have a wall in front of me. So as soon as I come down, once I hit the free throw line, I'm turning and I'm handing it off. And then I'm going to sit in the dunker spot and I'm just going to sit there.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't have the pressure of, I got to make the All-Star team. He's not the number 1 option like Embiid is. So he's not going to get blamed if they lose. Besides people who actually watch the game and see that he's just standing there doing absolutely nothing but running to the free throw line and handing it off.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, and here's another thing. You know, there's a chance now, a high chance that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
He will.
Now that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Because he is going to be the Defensive Player of the Year.
And that gets announced during the playoffs. What's going to happen? He's going to get praise heaped onto him. He's going to get praise heaped onto him by Sixers fans. And he's going to feel like, okay, I did my job. And there's nothing worse than somebody who feels like I've accomplished something. I've done my role now. Because
I totally disagree.
It's just like All-Star game. When he got announced for the All-Star game, since then, what has he done?
I totally disagree with that.
Name one great, not even like excellent. Name one great game Ben Simmons has had since he got announced for the All-Star game.
He really hasn't had one, and I'll give you that straight up. I've been on the record saying that he's been a bum over the past month on the offensive side of the ball. I've pointed out the fact that when he gets the ball at the top of the key, he doesn't even look at the rim. He doesn't even go into a triple threat. He catches the ball and then he passes it back to whether it's Furkan or Danny Green.
Can I ask you something? What has Ben shown you that come playoff time, he's going to be able to score over walls that teams are going to create? What in his game has he shown you that he can score over multiple defenders?
He showed me that his shot is wet. So he's going to start shooting the ball when it's wide open when he needs to, or he's going to be put on the bench.
He won't be put on the bench.
He won't be put on the bench.
Coaches like
Doc even said he doesn't care about
they will discipline him in the playoffs if he is not performing on the offense.
Oh, he already said at the beginning of the season,
George Hill will be taking his minutes. Hill will be taking his minutes.
Doc Rivers already said, I just want Ben Simmons to be Ben Simmons. I will never ask him to be something that he's not.
Yeah, well, we've seen that he can shoot the ball, and it's time for him to shoot the ball when the games matter.
He still has.
And we are still the number 1 seed in the East by a game and a half. Right or wrong?
You are.
Regular season don't matter, Jamie, like you said.
It don't matter.
But we're winning.
Playoff time.
But they're getting the number 1 seed now.
Because here's the thing. Ben isn't scoring while teams aren't game planning for him. What is he going to do when teams game plan for him?
Bro, they're not going to game plan for him so that when he gets the ball wide open at the top of the key, he's going to start jumping, or he's going to start taking that shot and he's going to start hitting it. Like I understand everything that you guys are saying. Like, he sucks right now on the offensive side of the ball. Like, I don't know how else to say it in any other way. All I'm saying is, the one thing he has shown me is his shot is wet when there's hands in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's proven that he could shoot the ball. So when the possessions get harder, when the defense tightens up on the defensive side of the ball in the playoffs, he's going to need to start shooting that basketball. And if he doesn't, he's going to get disciplined for it. That is why we went out and got George Hill.
And I've got something else to say to you. Now that I am here, I feel as though I need to hear an apology from my man's Danny Green.
I've apologized to Danny Green many times, but I will apologize to you as well. I was wrong about Danny Green. He is going to be a crucial part of this playoff.
Me and Evan told you, coming down the stretch, this is where Danny Green is going to be important. That game against the Clippers, Danny Green was one of the main reasons y'all won. Yeah. He was tiring out. Paul George was getting his buckets, but Danny Green was tiring him out and was all over him the entire game. But you know what's going to happen. Ben Simmons is going to switch on to him in the fourth quarter when he's fatigued and running around with Danny Green all game. He'll get a couple stops, and then he'll say, oh, yeah, look, Ben got a couple stops in the fourth quarter. He's defensive player of the year. In my opinion, the most important defender on the Sixers is Embiid. Because
he's a center that defends the paint. Go ahead, Evan.
No, and he guards the pick and roll.
When you go into the playoffs, and if you're playing somebody – if they try to go up into the paint, no one's gonna be able to score to the paint. They're gonna have to rely on the shooting on the outside. And if a team's having a bad day on the shooting outside from like 3, they're not gonna be scoring like that. And especially if they even if they made the finals and played the Lakers, I'd rather have James shooting threes than AD bodying up Embiid. You know?
Yeah, and not only that, what Embiid allows. Don't get me wrong, Ben is a really good defender, but Embiid allows Ben to be a great defender because Ben knows he can take a risk. Ben knows he could reach here or bite. He could bite on a pump fake or something like that, knowing that behind him, he has one of the best rim protectors there, and Embiid. And you look at the way they guard the pick and roll or the pick and pop. Embiid is hedging every time, and he's not only able to switch onto a smaller guard, but he's able to get back. Mm-hmm. That allows Ben to recover.
Yeah,
that's why I think, in my opinion, Ben is the most important defender. But Embiid, my apologies.
Yeah, but we all see what Seth Curry's doing to us right now. Seth Curry is single-handedly keeping them in this basketball game.
But he does that to everybody. Even if, first of all, Ben Simmons wouldn't be guarding right now. They probably have Danny Green on him. They would have Danny Green on him. You know how they are.
Stop.
Bro, come on,
bro.
Man.
You know Ben wants to guard the best player come fourth quarter.
Because they're tired running around with Danny Green all game.
Okay, and Ben has been running.
and then Ben takes
but Ben plays what 42 minutes a game.
Ben
Ben just doesn't lose stamina.
What does he do the first 30 minutes?
He dunks. He facilitates. Like I know he's been playing ass since the All-Star break.
This is what I think. I believe Ben reserves his energy to guard in the fourth.
But what if he's reserving all this energy for the 16 games that he needs to win in the playoffs? Did we ever think about that? Like it's a new age. He's not going to come out and be like Michael Jordan every single day. He's not going to come out. Kawhi does it, right? Like it's not 1992, guys. It's 2021, and he's a 24-year-old kid. He's 2 years older than us, and he plays basketball. He plays video games, and he works out.
Can I say something though?
There's not a care in his world except for those 3 things, and then maybe Kylie or Courtney.
One of the Jenners.
One of the Jenners. Yeah, Kendall. That might be his fourth concern.
You brought up Kawhi and players like that. Yes, they sit out games, stuff like that. But when they're on the court, you know what you're getting every night. You don't know what you're getting from the offensive side. No, you know what you're getting. Nothing. You're getting nothing in terms of scoring. Yeah, that's what you're getting.
Because he put up 42 points against the quote-unquote defensive player of the year this year. His competition.
You keep saying that, Ben. I mean, you keep saying that. He had a great game.
Yeah.
Because
the only thing he does is dunk, right? And Rudy Gobert's main thing is protecting the rim. So how did he put up 42 points against the Jets that night?
Do I have to bring up games?
He was lured out. He was lured out a lot of times.
Exactly.
You don't just randomly get 42 points in a game, dude.
And how many times?
Your main asset of the game is to score in the lane, and you score 42 points. That's got to be on your rim protector.
Hold up. Ben guarded Kyrie when they played the Nets, right?
Okay.
Kyrie had 37 and 3/4. Right?
It's the only guy that was scoring on the Nets that day. Harden was out. KD was out. And what's his name?
All right, hold on. Don't use that argument. Because Embiid was out that game against the Jazz. So Ben had to be the guy to score.
No, because he still had Tobias. And y'all say that Tobias is the second best player, right?
But according to you,
and some people say Danny Green is the third best player.
According to you, come playoff time, Embiid and Ben have to be the man. So according to you,
I'm just pointing out the haters. I'm just pointing out the haters.
Listen, I told you already. I used to love Ben. You know, Ben was my guy. That's why it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad because he was my guy, and I believed in him, and he has given me nothing. Nothing.
What are you talking about?
You know what he taught me how to do?
His team is the number 1 seed in the East, and the
team.
The MVP of the league has been out for what? A month of the season? The MVP of the league has been out for a month, maybe a month and a half. We are still the number 1 seed.
To me, Tobias, like I said,
Ben Simmons has played. I think Ben Simmons has missed what? 5 games?
Sorry, Steph Curry just hit a crazy 3.
I saw that.
Nah,
we're gonna lose this game. I'm calling it right now. We're gonna lose this game.
Nah, the MVP gonna bring it home. Look, that's too easy. They got a little Draymond on them. That's a foul. Like I was saying though, to me, in my opinion, I feel as though Tobias was very essential in that run. Like when Embiid was out, he was scoring a lot of points. Not only that, you had other guys stepping up like Shake, Danny Green had a lot of shots in that stretch.
But if you have Ben Simmons out, are we still the number 1 seed in the East?
Oh yeah, and another thing, Ben Simmons.
No, answer the question. Answer the question. If Ben Simmons is out too, are we still the number 1 seed in the East? The answer is no.
You'd probably be tied. You wouldn't be a game and a half up. You'd be tied.
You're hating. You're hating now. You're hating.
I'm not hating. I honestly think he's a bit overrated.
Oh my god! How could somebody that's hated
by you though? By you. I think he's overrated by you, not in general, not the general.
And I think he's overhated by everybody else.
Listen,
we got the whole.
We got a third one here.
The game. When you have no offensive game and you're considered a generational talent, I think
but he does have an offensive game. He's just been stagnant over the past.
And not only that, there were a lot of games where he got absolutely torched when Embiid was out. There were games where he was getting absolutely lit up on the defensive.
He was getting sold out.
Still the number 1 seed in the East.
He was getting sold out by Harris. He had games where he wasn't even scoring 10 points.
Yeah, bro. Literally.
It's hard to score 10 points when you're facilitating the whole game and you're only shooting 7 shots.
Facilitating. That's on him, bro.
I didn't see it.
And then guarding the best player on the other side and winning games.
That's Danny Green, bro. That's Danny Green. I don't even know how Danny Green makes threes because he literally guarded the best player every night. He is. Jimmy, you know that. The first 3 quarters, Danny Green is running around with the best player.
We have a lot of the fam in the chat. We got Tom, Frank. I think that's Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon said what's up.
We got Brian. We got Steve, Chuck, Jake. Thank you guys, everybody. Remember, hit that like, comment with us, hit that subscribe. We're gonna be rolling on tonight. The Sixers are 92-92, 3:33 left in the 4th against the Warriors.
That bad, man.
And then Phillies, I just turned them off because it's just been a tough scene to watch. I think it's still 2-0, probably top of the 8th now. We'll see if they can pull that off.
Going into the bottom of the 8th, you got your boy Bohm.
Why or Howie chants have been started at the Phillies game?
Well, that's typical.
That's beautiful. That's actually beautiful. Philly fans making me proud.
Wow.
And then the poll for today is it more likely? It is more likely that the Sixers make the finals rather than the Phillies making the playoffs. I agree to the poll. Jonathan,
I would say I agree.
The non-Philly fan, except for the Eagles, is saying that none of this will happen. And then Evan says that the Sixers will make the finals rather than the Phillies making the playoffs. And
I'd say the Sixers have a better chance now that I think about it. Because they're making it to the conference finals, and anything can happen once you're 4 games away from making it to the finals.
All right, so let's say this. We make it to the conference finals, and we have home court. Joe plays every game. He's not out any of those games. He plays all 6-7 games, however long it is. Joe's not going to have to guard anybody because it's going to be DeAndre Jordan or Blake Griffin, and both of them can't jump anymore. Mm-hmm. And then you'll probably have Ben guarding KD. Right? You have Danny Green probably guarding Harden. And then you'll probably have George Hill starting by that time. And he'll probably be on Kyrie.
That's where Simmons really has to show up.
Well, yeah.
on that perimeter, I think that's gonna be the most important defense you can
That
have.
series, if that series happens and it goes to 7 games, depending on how Ben plays in that series, that's going to determine his fate in Philadelphia. That's going to determine his fate in my eyes, and that's going to determine his fate in the rest of the haters' eyes.
Can I say something?
Go
I
ahead.
believe you guys kind of signed your death wish that game that they had the other night. One thing about Durant, he takes a lot of stuff personal. Like he's he's almost like I wouldn't call him like a crybaby, but like
He's a Kardashian.
no, that's Ben Simmons. But I'm talking about Durant. The thing with Durant, and he backs it up. The thing about Durant. So you guys saying that he sucks and all that stuff. If it's in Philly, my goodness, that was a crazy shot by Steph.
Oh God, Steph.
He's Steph.
I'm on a McDonald's commercial right now. I don't even know what's going on.
Listen. So the thing about Durant is you saw that a couple years ago when he played the Clippers and the whole Pat Bev situation was happening. When he said, "You know who I am. I'm Kevin Durant." I feel as though you guys saying that he sucks and all that stuff, it's just gonna fuel him. And you don't want to fuel somebody who can give you 40 any night.
All right, this is my rebuttal to that. They don't have depth. First of all, we have better depth than them. We are now down by 6 to the Warriors without Ben Simmons.
You think they don't have depth?
They don't have depth compared to us. They don't have depth.
They just lost Aldridge too, so they.
Yeah, but you look at it. They've got Harris. They've got Shamit. They got
Shamit
DeAndre. Bro, Shamit just dropped 31 the other night.
All right. Well, every blind squirrel finds his nut. Go ahead.
It's just like Ben Simmons dropping 42. That's true.
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 Yeah. You said nothing about that, Jimmy. You know he's right.
Go ahead. Who else do they got? Do they got TLC?
They still got TLC. They got underrated player.
They got the Sixers process players.
Somebody who's developing for them that's going to be pretty good is Nicholas Claxton. He's a nice little big body. He's pretty good.
How big is he?
Is he going to be built for the playoffs?
He's about like 6'10", 6'11", but he defends the rim really well.
But is he going to be up for the mental fact that it's going to be an Eastern Conference Finals, hostile environment? The crowd, the arena is probably going to be 75 to 100% filled, and you're going to be going against a Joel Embiid. Is he going to be up for that?
I don't think they'll put DeAndre to start because DeAndre's played in those big games. But I think Claxton off the bench would be a nice little fit. I think him against Dwight Howard, he can have some advantages over Dwight. Fresher legs, younger player. I disagree.
I feel like they'll put Claxton as starter because because teams usually do that. They put the worst guy against Embiid.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they play Dwight on. I mean, that would have been a good matchup like 5, 6, 7 years ago, but it's kind of even.
Oh, another one. Jeff Green. Jeff Green off the bench is going to be a nice addition too. So they've got some players.
But I think our role players are, and I've bashed on our role players the whole year. I think our role players are going to have a way bigger impact than their role players. Their superstars they have a bigger name, but they also don't play together. They haven't played together yet. So we don't know how that's going to happen. I still think any of them can score at any given moment, but at the end of the day, there's one basketball. And I think our guy, our MVP, Joel Embiid, if he does play all 7 games or however long it goes, and he plays every single game in that series, and he's playing the way he's playing, Jesus,
oh my goodness, Steph. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're losing this game, bro. We're losing this game,
bro. Steph Curry is literally single-handedly.
Can we just shout out to Seth Curry for literally doing everything in the first quarter and not doing jack shit? Literally anything after the second quarter.
Yeah.
He pulled the Phillies.
Anything.
He pulled the Philadelphia Phillies.
I'm putting on.
Literally hasn't done anything.
I am putting on the Phillies.
What in the hell did he just shoot? Yeah, I'm gonna change this game too, Jimmy. I believe that game's over.
Has Moniak gotten a base hit yet?
He had second and third, no outs, and you struck out. And then Matten had second and third, 1 out. It's the same. It was the same inning.
Yeah.
2-0.
They've left so many players on base this game.
Matten literally swung at a pitch that landed at my house. It was ridiculous.
Ahmad, this is what has to happen for us to make it to the finals, and this is going back to the 7-game point. Yes, their 3 superstars are better than our 3 superstars combined, but Joel Embiid is the best player right now out of all 6 of them. Agree or disagree to that?
Wait,
All
what was this? You said that Embiid
Joel Embiid is the best player out of Harden, KD, and Kyrie right now.
No.
You think Harden's better right now?
No. I'm taking Durant all day. If Durant is on the court, I'm taking Kevin Durant.
Yes. If Durant is on the court.
You said between those 3. You said we're talking about healthy. Because come playoff time, they're gonna be healthy.
Right now means factoring in everything.
All right,
team chemistry. What you do for your team. What you've been doing all season.
But playoffs aren't right now.
We're talking about playoffs away. We're talking about 15 games away.
That's
playoffs are 15 games away. I'd say that's a good amount of time. I wouldn't say it's a lot of time.
The Nets are good enough that they'll be able to rest because Harden will be back.
They've been resting all year.
They'll be able to rest.
Kyrie takes daily vacations whenever the fuck he wants to.
I'm talking about the first round of playoffs, though. They'll be able to sit Durant and let Harden and Kyrie run that show, win the first round with ease, and then be able to go in the second round with all 3 of them fully ready.
And not if your Pacers make the 7th seed and give them some trouble.
First of all, we're tanking for Cade. Hashtag tank for Cade. Tank for Cade, man. You should have seen the starting lineup. We ran out tonight.
Bro, TJ McConnell's shutting down James Harden.
Bro, we had O'Shea Brissett starting small forward, Edmund Sumner starting power forward, and Goga Patadze starting center tonight.
I don't know who that is.
Exactly. That should just let you know right now where we're going. We just randomly decided in the middle of the season, it's time to not start Justin Holiday after months of him watching shoot the most contested threes of all time for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I think Durant, in my opinion, because the thing with Durant, there's no defense for him. You can't put a wall against Durant. You can't. There's no doubling Durant. You can dribble away from the double.
The Australian God is going to shut him down in that 7-game series.
First of all, I gave him that nickname.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep it.
I canceled that nickname.
You gave it to him, and I'm going to keep it alive. The Australian God is going to shut him down.
I canceled that nickname. He's not good anymore.
He's good. He's had a rough stretch. He's had a rough stretch, and his team is still the number 1 seed in the East.
Stop saying his team.
His MVP has been gone for the past month and a half. He's been back for the last 6 games.
Tobias just doesn't exist.
Tobias has stepped up. He is a great 3rd piece to a championship team.
Second, right now.
He is a great 3rd piece to a champ. If you want to win a championship, Tobias can't be your 2nd piece. And this has been my point all along.
No, that's true.
Ben Simmons is going to live up to that second play. This is what I'm saying. Ben Simmons is going to live up to that 2nd piece. You guys both disagree, and most of Philadelphia disagrees. And this goes back to my main point that I said 2 weeks ago. If we do get eliminated by the Brooklyn Nets, and Ben Simmons still plays well, people are going to look at what he did during the regular season, and they're going to use that as, it's time to trade him for anything. It's what we did to Carson Wentz, and it's what we're doing to Ben Simmons right now. I don't want to trade him for just a piece of garbage like we did to Carson Wentz.
Well, you could have.
Because first of all, I still want Carson Wentz here. I don't think I wouldn't have traded him for anything unless it was Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know about all that, and that's my boy. You know, I support Wentz, but I don't know about all that.
Stop.
I don't know about all that.
I'm serious. Jojo Romero is pitching right now.
I feel like turning every game off right now. But I'm just keeping the Phillies game on. Just keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive for what? Oh, yeah, you need them to win for your Padres.
My boy Machado, man, going into that series, I need them. Bro, they play the Brewers tonight. It's going to be a tough one. And then they play the Dodgers to end the week.
Jimmy, right. What do you think about Gabe Kapler's first day back?
I
think it was actually Gabe's fault?
No, I don't think it was Gabe. I think some of his decision-making was just not good, not well whatsoever. It was just boneheaded, and he wasn't really I don't think he was ready to be a manager in the MLB, especially coming into a team with Bryce Harper of that stature, and then also getting guys like, JT, all those guys. I don't think he was ready to be a manager. But in the direction that baseball is going right now, he is just the right guy that you want to be a young and coming manager. That's why I think he is doing well with the Giants.
Mhm.
But with all that being said, I think he got put into a cakewalk because he faced our 5th pitcher in the rotation, and honestly, he should be either playing in Japan, South Korea, Canada, Mexico.
Shanghai Tigers. The Shanghai Tigers.
He should be playing anywhere but Philadelphia, in my opinion. Matt Moore and Chase Anderson.
Wow.
So yeah, he was given a cakewalk because it's a 2-0 baseball game. Our bullpen obviously did well again today. I think our lineup is just so messed up and so disoriented in so many ways, and that's a part of our show description tonight. We got to talk about Joe Girardi because it's time for him to make a change in this lineup. Andrew McCutchen is not a leadoff hitter. I think he is a solid 6 or 7 hitter, but you can't just keep on rolling him out there. Like,
can I offer something? Can I
go ahead.
ask a question? And this will be controversial. So you guys have, in my opinion, somebody that could be a leadoff, but he obviously has legal problems, or he had legal problems.
Yeah.
And I feel as though having Odubel Herrera still on your roster, you're still paying Odubel Herrera. He is still on your team. If you have him, and you know he is your best center fielder on your depth chart, because
and it's not even close. It's not even close.
Down way better than every center fielder you have. Line them all up. He is hands down better than them in every facet. Only one guy's got to beat in anything, and it's Roman Quinn, and that he's faster than Odubel Herrera. That's the only thing they have beat on Odubel. Everybody else is trash compared to Odubel. You have Odubel on your roster. If you're gonna have him, you're gonna pay him, which means that you're not gonna release him.
Yeah.
Why not play him? You're just wasting not only money, but not only that, you're giving away games because he would be the perfect leadoff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I agree. I don't even think it's close to any of the guys we have right now. Moniak he's only been playing a few games, but he really hasn't showed anything right away. Still have Kingery, who didn't prove anything last year.
Sorry, because it just dove for a ball.
And it bounced off his face.
Dude, please get rid of McCutchen.
Bro, oh my god. I'm surprised he got up.
I told you he
Yo, get McCutchen out of
that
Philly.
ACL.
Get McCutchen out of Philly.
McCutchen.
Nah, but I do believe Odubel in center field would be perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I totally if you're gonna have him on the team, you might John. We were talking about this before the season started again. We were talking about that JT or Trevor Bauer stuff. If you're gonna have him on the roster, and he's clearly the best center fielder that you have, and you see that you're struggling in center field, like you've lost games this year because you haven't had a center fielder, and it's affected the way that Girardi's built his lineup. Because McCutchen isn't a leadoff hitter anymore. Rhys Hoskins should not be batting. McCutchen and Hoskins should not be batting before Harper because that's going to be affecting Harper. You need to have JT batting second, and you need to have Odubel batting first. You need to put Hoskins in the 5-hole. You need to put McCutchen in the 7-hole, and then you need to find a place for Didi and Gene. You have a great balance of players on this roster, but it starts with having that perfect center fielder. And that perfect center fielder, whether you like it or not, is Odubel Herrera. And none of us agree on what he did. I'll speak for all three of us. It's disgusting, and quite honestly, I would have released him. But we don't have any control over that.
But I mean, if you're gonna keep him,
keep him playing.
He did what he did. He apologized and all that. But now you're just keeping him. You're not doing it. You still have him on your organization. You either cut him or you keep him and then play him still on the team. You don't. You're paying him $10 million to sit and play for the Redding Phillies or whoever the hell he's playing for right now.
He's literally I just don't get it. What is the point of having him? Release him then. Let him go play somewhere else. Not only are you holding his development back, but you're holding your team's development back because your entire fan base is thinking as you can see, we're all thinking, where's Herrera at? Second of all, he's thinking and probably, am I ever going to play again? So it's kind of either release him or play him. because it's really better than. And you can literally throw away every center fielder that you guys have brought up this year.
Yeah, I agree.
It's awful.
They're terrible. They're not good. I think combined, Moniak and Quinn have one hit. I'm not. Why are you laughing? I'm being serious. I was looking at the stats earlier today, and between the two of them, they have one hit. That's terrible. I think Roman Quinn's batting average is 0.54, and I don't think Moniak had a hit today. So Moniak doesn't have a batting average right now. And then I think Hazley's batting average is like 147 or something. So the three center fielders that you've trotted out there have just been abysmal. If you bring up Odubel, you put him in the leadoff spot, you put JT at 2, you put Harper at 3, you put Didi at 4, Hoskins at 5, Bohm at 6, Segura at 7, and then
I go
McCutcheon at 8.
bomb 5. I go bomb 5.
So then you put Hoskins at 6 because Hoskins he'll get a hit here and there, and that's what the 6-hole hitter is for. Getting a hit here and there and then getting a walk.
And in my opinion, until you do bring Odubel up, because if you're just going to be hard-headed and just decide we're not going to bring this guy up who we have on our roster and who we are paying, I feel as though Gene at this point is a better leadoff than having Andrew McCutcheon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he's batting 360.
like I'd put Gene leadoff. And I used to love Gene Segura as a hitter. I don't know what happened. I don't know. For some reason, he's just addicted to just being jammed. Like I feel like every hit he has is like either the middle of the bat or at the end of the bat. But they're hits. He's getting on base. So if you're gonna get on, why are you wasting? He literally gets on, and then he's followed up by Moniak and tonight Matten. what is he doing? He's just getting on for no reason.
We'll see it. We'll see if they can make the comeback. We got Andrew Knapp coming up as a pinch hitter. Is that what I just saw? We got the bottom of the ninth coming up. They're down 2-0.
I think it was absolutely disgusting when I saw it was like Roman Quinn. Who the hell was it? It was Roman Quinn, Brad Miller, and I think maybe Hazley was it. It was all three of them in a row, and it was like the last inning. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
What the
I'd
hell?
rather have Brad Miller than Moniak.
Quinn has been absolutely terrible.
First of all, and I told Jimmy this when Quinn had that little run.
Mm-hmm.
When he first came up, I told Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, sometimes you gotta look at there's a reason why this person hadn't been called up before. They're gonna adjust. And they're gonna find out why, and
especially with all the rotating and the setups that they do in baseball now, the shifts, the overshifts.
Mm-hmm.
A player like that will not succeed in the MLB.
First of all,
in this year,
if I'm facing Roman Quinn, I'm putting the outfield right behind the infielders because he literally has no power, at all. He has no power. I think he literally has no home runs this year. Actually, he only has one hit, like you said. So,
wow.
Yeah, I know for a fact he doesn't have a home run.
No, he has one hit.
Roman Quinn's like the off-brand version of Ben Revere. I don't know if you remember him.
Ben Revere. Oh,
Ben Revere was good.
Ben Revere was a solid player, but
Michael Martinez is what you're trying to say.
The Walmart version.
Michael Martinez. Oh man.
God, have Knapp.
Yeah, Knapp is pitch hitting. Our backup catcher is pitch hitting. That's not a knock on Knapp, but it's about to be nap time for the Phillies.
Yeah.
Man, but they're just. I'd rather see John Mayberry Jr. thrown out there in center field than what's. But I'm honest, Jimmy. At least Mayberry has some pop. Oh, God. Roman Quinn doesn't do anything. He can't even bunt. I remember there was times when they were asking to bunt and he couldn't get it down. You're fast for what?
Yeah.
I do remember that one time where he came in and pitched during one of those marathon games, and everybody loved him. I was one of those people. And just since then, he hasn't done a
That's
damn
because
thing.
Vinny Velasquez was
Jesus Christ.
carrying.
That was bad.
What the fuck was that?
That was bad. What did Nat just swing at?
That was terrible.
Dude, Vinny was carrying that game. when he dove for like 3 of the balls and he got somebody out at home. Remember that game?
Yeah. Vinny
Oh.
Velasquez.
Yeah.
Talk about another bum.
When he was playing
was gonna
outfield.
say-
He's a better outfielder than anybody we got out there right now.
Hey,
Besides Bryce.
throw him in center field. Doesn't Velasquez have a home run in his career?
He
I think
does.
so. Oh my God! What?
Put him in center
I just saw you guys.
field.
Saw.
You saw that swing?
Oh my Lord!
I don't know if any of you guys saw bench warmers before, but remember the one kid like struck out and the coach was like, "Do I need to get you a tennis racket?" That's what
He
that
did-
just reminded me of.
He needs one. Look at McCutcheon's average.
He's our leadoff hitter. Our leadoff hitter is batting 160.
Bro, the ball hit the ground.
You might as well bring up Kingery and put him in left field. 'Cause he's
Hey,
probably
Jimmy,
going to give you the same numbers.
This is where I bring up the fact that even if the Phillies were to make the playoffs, how are they going to be able to battle with one of those two teams that are going to come out of the NOS?
Well, I'm glad you bring that up. This is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to depend on your power three. You're going to have a 3-man rotation, and then you're going to really need to depend on your bullpen arms. It's going to be as simple as that, and then Girardi's going to have to build a lineup. Maybe Odubel's going to be around by that time. Maybe we'll get somebody by the trade deadline to play center field. But if they were to make the playoffs, it's probably either A, they acquired a couple of pieces at the trade deadline, or B, their top 3 starters had an incredible year as I predicted in the beginning of the season. That's probably what's going to happen.
And here's what I think about those teams. Here's the thing that I see that's just separated too, because obviously the pitching, but something about I look at the Phillies lineup. I feel as though they don't have those guys that are no matter who's pitching, you have confidence in them. They don't have. You look at the Padres and the Dodgers lineups. When they're going to hit, I believe they don't even care who's pitching. They feel as though they're going to get a hit.
Mm.
For example, look at that series that San Diego and the Dodgers had. Dodgers put out Bauer, Kershaw, and Buehler. The Padres put out the first game they put out a rookie, Ryan Weathers, but then they went Darvish and Blake Snell.
Mm-hmm.
Each game was competitive. Why? Because those hitters don't care who's pitching.
Yeah.
They are going to hit regardless because they are pure hitters and they are big moment hitters. Look at Hoskins right now. Is that Hoskins hitting right now? Look at these swings.
It is Hoskins, yeah.
Look at these swings. That's what I mean. Like, you telling me Hoskins is going to go into a wild card game and he's going to go and he's going to hit you, Darvish or Blake Snell or whoever's starting for the Padres?
Well, that's why.
Or if the Dodgers somehow fall into the wild card spot, he's going to hit Bauer or Buehler or Kershaw.
Look
at these swings.
Jesus Christ. That was a terrible night for Philly.
That's what I'm saying. Like
terrible night for Philly.
They have good they have hitters, but they don't have pure hitters, guys that are gonna put the ball in play with pure look at Hosmer. Eric Hosmer had so many big hits. This year, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, Eric Hosmer is 9 for 13 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. When it's a big moment, those guys are gonna make something happen. Do the Phillies have those guys besides Harper?
Let me just. I hear what you're saying, but this is what I have to say to it. I think they're going to soon realize that Hoskins isn't going to be the player that he was when he first came up, and they're going to start to realize that he needs to be a 6 or 7 hole hitter. By that time, you're probably going to have the guys that are hitting. Hence, Gene Segura, Didi Gregorius. I just saw all those strikeouts, and it was just terrible.
You saw that swing? Oh, my God.
You're going to have all those hitters that have been hitting that I think will stay consistent in Segura, Gregorius, JT, Bryce. I think Bohm is going to step it up. He has had he has struggled to start this year. I think he will come back to life. That's 5-6 guys right there that I think they can keep up with those.
Bohm and Hoskins had that like stretch where they were playing really well.
Yeah.
You know, they like sold themselves and then haven't done anything since then. So it sucks.
Well, yeah, if you built the right lineup, which I think Girardi will do, I don't really know what he's waiting for, but he needs to start to realize that Rhys Hoskins just isn't a 2-hole hitter. He isn't a top 4 hitter. He's maybe a 5 hitter at best, but you need to put him at the 6 or 7. McCutcheon can't be your leadoff hitter anymore. And once that happens, this offense will come back to life. And we also got to remember that it is 16 games into the season. But these games do matter. So it's time to – if you're Dombrowski, you got to start to think, hey, it's time to find that fourth starter because we can't keep doing this or we're going to win 81 games again.
Yep.
No, it's true.
So the Phillies suck. They lost 2-0. As I say, it's only 16 games in. They lost 2-0. They're now 8-8. They lost in Gabe Kapler's return to Philadelphia. I don't know what the Sixers score ended up being. I will check that right now. But
10, I think.
Yeah, Steph Curry just absolutely annihilated us without Ben Simmons. And there's a comment in the chat that I would like to introduce to everybody. We will transition back to Sixers talk.
Let's do it.
Barry says that was the worst defense I've seen all year played by the 76ers. Doc should be suspended. I don't agree with the last part, but the first part, that is very true. And your anchor wasn't out there. Whether you like to say it or not, Ben Simmons was not out there tonight. And Steph Curry just absolutely just beat us. 1 versus 5, Steph Curry just beat us. And it's not even close. Now, you could say all you want. Danny Green will be would have defended Steph Curry, but Ben Simmons would guard him if he was going off like that, even in the fourth quarter. Now Steph probably would have still made those shots. We don't know. We don't know if he would. We don't know if he wouldn't. But if Ben Simmons played tonight, we win that game. And I don't even think it's an argument.
I mean, yeah. I mean, whenever a team doesn't have an all-star player.
Why are you putting it in quotes? Is he an all-star or is he not an all-star? Do you like him or do you not?
He made
he's not an all-star caliber player on it right now.
He made the team, but
you're saying if he played tonight, we win that game.
He's a starter at the end of the day.
Here's how I would describe it.
He's the defensive anchor of this team. He facilitates the basketball for this team.
Jimmy,
we would have won with Harris.
You just lost against.
We would have won with Harris. It wouldn't have mattered.
I'll ask you a question, Jimmy. If you're playing the Utah Jazz and Mike Conley's not playing, are you saying, oh, yeah, the Jazz were out there, but Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, all of them are playing? Are you saying, yeah, but the Jazz, they only lost because they were without their all-star?
Well, I think Ben Simmons.
He made the team.
I'd rather have Ben Simmons than
he made the team.
Mike Conley.
I know, but he's an all-star. He made the team. To me, there's certain guys that make the team, but I don't classify them as an all-star player.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think so? What would you classify Ben Simmons as a basketball player right now? This is where I could tell if you're a hater or you're an unbiased opinion.
He's a fringe all-star.
He is.
You're a hater. You're a hater.
That's what I'd say. That's in the category right now. Look at my that's my cousin right there. That's my cousin right there. He was watching the game with me yesterday. Hey man, he got the clutch hit when it mattered, Joey.
I'm okay with Curry coming off the bench. Hashtag we always get the shitty brother. I mean, that's messed up.
All time, I'd start George Hill up with Steph Curry because he has a great jumper. He can put the ball on the floor, and he can defend on the other end. It didn't look that good, it being his first game and him having to get cooked by Steph Curry, but at the end of the night, I believe George Hill is going to be a solid defender for them.
Because when you have those two guys coming out, when you have Matisse Thybulle coming out with Curry, I think that would be a pretty good duo rather than having Hill come out with Thybulle. I don't know. I just think that's a better.
Yeah, and then you got Shake with them too. Shake can have Seth off the ball so that when Shake's driving, he can kick it out to Seth.
You'll have Shake, Seth,
Dwight,
Thybulle, and Dwight. That'll probably be your bench rotation come playoff time. And then
you got Afro Scott.
He sucks, dude. He's so bad. I'd rather have Tolliver playing than him, bro. Dude, Tolliver is just a little bit worse than Ben Simmons facilitating. Change my mind on that, Jimmy.
I know you didn't just say Anthony Tolliver. You literally just compared Anthony Tolliver and
he looked like Ben Simmons last game. Not gonna lie, offensively he looked like Ben Simmons.
Can I say something about Anthony Tolliver?
Go ahead.
To me, he's one of the worst basketball players I've ever seen play the game in my life.
That's saying something because we both have seen some pretty bad. All
He
three of
is
us have
my
been
he is
bad
in my
basketball players.
Kylo Quinn category.
Yeah, bro. Don't hate
You
on
know
my
that
boy
category.
Kylo Quinn.
You know that category.
How about Justin Anderson?
Stream, that's a personal story right there. I'm not gonna.
What about him?
But you said he sucks as a basketball player. Is Anthony Tolliver at that level?
Listen,
Justin
Justin
Anderson?
Anderson sucks as a basketball player and a person, so I'm not gonna.
Yo, what happened? What?
So I saw him and Markel at the mall, and him and Markel separated. I was gonna go to Markel, but he was on the phone, so I was like, I'm gonna go to Justin Anderson. I'm gonna ask him for a picture because I know basketball. I know him. This is when they were playing the Heat in the playoffs too.
Mm-hmm.
That's my cousin. She loves Mike Scott. Shout out to Amanda. So I go up to Justin Anderson, and this was mind you, he's in True Religion, and there's nobody in the store. It's just him and then the worker, and the worker goes and walks away. So I'm like, yo, you Justin Anderson, right? He's like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, yo, like I'll be seeing you play. I was like, can I get a picture? This man looked me dead in my eye and said, nah, I'm good.
Bro, he should be.
He should
Who the hell he is?
He's a bum. Oh my God, somebody recognize me. I promise you, if you took Justin Anderson and made him 6'2" and told him to walk around the mall, he would not get recognized.
He wouldn't.
I
I
promise.
don't think anyone recognizes him besides you.
First of all, I saw Markel first. And remember, Markel used to have the little box.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I see somebody 6'4" with that box. I'm like, that's got to be Markel. Like, that's got to be him. Then I'm like, who the hell is that tall guy next to him? And I see it's Justin Anderson. I'm like, oh, that's Justin Anderson. I'm thinking, all right, he got to be like chill, like, you know what I mean? Like, and whoo, that guy. And look at him. Where? Let me ask you about where's Justin Anderson right now?
The last
He,
time I saw
he
him,
plays for the Maine Lobsters.
He
That's
plays
like-
for the Shanghai Tigers.
last time I saw him in the NBA, he was Mavericks, but I guess he's in Shanghai now.
That's what I mean. Like he's somebody, and I said it to you the first time I told you the story, Jimmy. He should be happy somebody wanted to take a picture with him.
Yeah. That's probably the first time anyone's ever asked him.
Like, bro, you're an NBA player.
He's not over there.
You're an NBA player, and somebody recognized you and they're like, hey, they didn't even say like, yo, like they didn't start arguing with you to none of that. They literally said, can I get a picture?
What did you say to him after? What did you say after he said no?
I said, oh, for real? And he was like, yeah, I'm chilling right now. I'm like, bro, you're in True Religion shopping. The worker walked away. What is?
You better be careful spending all that money. I know he's gonna have to go find a job.
Bro, when I left that store, I didn't even go to say what's up to Markel because I was so mad. Like I was so like, because I'm like, bro, I should have ignored him and went to Markel. That's what I should have did. But I was like,
I feel like Markel would have said no too, because I met Markel Fultz and he was so quiet. I know he was quiet
He
before.
was 19 years old probably when you met him.
I know.
So you got to think about it that way.
He's just so awkward. He probably wouldn't have talked to you. He probably would have just ignored you and like walked past you.
yeah, but it's like,
No, I definitely think Markel would have taken a picture with you.
yeah, but like the thing with Justin Anderson, even when I see him play, he like so smug. Like he reminds me of like Ben Jenner a little bit, like the way he carries himself.
God. This is turning into a Ben slander show, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Wow. That's the Justin Anderson story. Not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So your all-time like least favorite basketball players or bad basketball players includes Justin Anderson, Anthony Tolliver, and Ben Simmons. Are they like the big three on that team, John?
Nah, I'd put Kyle O'Quinn in part of it. I would take Ben off that team. I'd put Kyle O'Quinn.
Kyle O'Quinn?
No.
Oh.
No. It's a big four. It's a big four. Jakar Sampson's on that list.
Jakar Sampson sucks.
Jakar Sampson's on that list.
Nah, I have a fun.
Bro, Amir Johnson's on my list.
Yeah, Amir Johnson is probably going to be in the rotation of my list as well.
Maybe 6 man.
I'm thinking about all the bad players we had during the process. Hollis Thompson is one of those names. He was our like 3-point dead shot, and every single time I saw him shoot a 3, it was a brick. Robert Covington will make that list.
He had his moments though. Rocco had his moments.
every single one of Rocco's moments was a deflection, and nobody can.
What about that 3 against what was it, against the Blazers? When he got that?
Was it a playoff game?
No.
Did he get benched for T.J. McConnell during a playoff series? Yes, he did.
I was talking about Rocco.
Yeah, Robert Covington. He got benched for T.J. McConnell in the Boston series.
I mean, that sounds a little familiar. Who else got benched for T.J. McConnell in the playoffs? Your boy.
It wasn't Ben Simmons.
Your boy Ben Simmons. Yeah, he did.
Benched?
Against the Celtics.
Like starting.
When Ben had 1 point, Brett's like,
but he
get
still
the hell out of the
started.
game.
But he still started. I'm talking about started. Like Robert Covington lost his starting position to T.J. McConnell in a playoff series.
They were playing smoke.
That just means you suck. And I love T.J.
It's
McConnell,
smoke.
but he has no business starting in a playoff series, especially when he's 23 years old.
Before I go on, can I give a quick shout out real quick?
Go ahead.
Because I got some people on here. Quick shout out to my mom watching. Mama, I see you. And quick shout out to my girlfriend, Destiny. Hey, Destiny, I see you in the comments. I see all y'all. That's my mom right there commenting. Destiny right there. Got a couple of the family members in the live right now. Shout out to everybody.
Yes, sir. We have a lot of people in our chat. Just make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It'll help us out a lot.
Yes, sir.
Girardi's
doing his post-game conference right now. He just looks like a defeated man right now.
I'd be defeated too if you just gave me slop. Because at the end of the day, you couldn't say that you helped him out this season, but there was a lot of helping that needed to be done. There was a lot of helping that needed to be done. And the fact that you gave him Chase Anderson and Matt Moore as your best options. Like, I know everybody struggles with their 4th and 5th starter, but that's just abysmal. That's just terrible to see. Chase Anderson couldn't get through 4 innings, or he did get through 4 innings. He couldn't get to that 5th inning. Matt Moore is just God bless him.
I would not be surprised if he's playing for the Shanghai Tigers at the end of the week.
Well, yeah, he just got put on the COVID list with Alvarado and somebody else. I hope he recovers fast and well from COVID. But after that COVID list is done, I hope he just stays wherever he is in quarantine because he sucks.
Lock him in his hotel room.
like speedy recovery and everything, but
what do you
do some laps in that swimming pool or something?
Let me ask you a question, Jimmy. Honestly, what do you think if they're not bringing Odubel up? Who do you think the center fielder should be? Should be Moniak, Quinn,
Kingery? Just because Kingery has proven before, even before
he's still recovering from COVID.
I was just about to say it. I feel like you paid him, so now you got to see what you got. He's still young. I think he's maybe 24, 25. You got, 3-4 years left of him? You're not going to pay him to play in Lehigh Valley or Reading. You're going to pay him to play on this baseball team, and you just got to work through the rough stretch that he had. I know COVID really hit him hard because it still affected him after a year and a half or a year, however long it's been. But I think Kingery needs to get his opportunity now because obviously Moniak is freaking hot garbage.
Yeah.
Hazley's going through some things. I don't want to speculate on that. I know Tom and the guys said that earlier. And then who else am I missing? Roman Quinn, who's batting .053. So Kingery's up next.
Manton had his first hit today before Moniak had.
Yeah.
He could have had his second hit too. He had a nice line drive at the middle.
And that's another thing. We don't even know Maton. We don't know how to say his name, but we're all asking if he could play center field because that's how bad our center field is.
Yeah. What about the other guy, Joyce?
I'd put Joyce, honestly, if it's me, I'd try to move either Harper or McCutcheon to center, and I'd put Matt Joyce in right. Yeah. Or if Matt Joyce can't play right anymore, I'd honestly ask Reese if he could play left again and move Matt Joyce to first base because you need somebody else in center field or somebody else in another position that can produce in that center field lineup spot.
Yeah.
Whether it's Brad Miller, whether it's Matt Joyce, any of those guys are better than having.
But they're not starters. That's the thing. They're great bench players, but they're not starters.
Yeah, but they're eighth batter.
Starters haven't proved anything yet.
Yeah, I'd put them as an eighth batter. To me, they're better. To me, I'm taking Matt Joyce and I'm taking Brad Miller at this moment over Kingery, Quinn, and Hazley. And Moniak.
Well, yeah, obviously, all of our center fielders are hot dog shit, but
It's facts.
We need to either start thinking about putting Hoskins back in left field, maybe putting. Are we just going to straight up bench McCutchen? Or are we going to move him to center? Because I don't think
center or right and put Harper in center or
because McCutchen he can't walk. He can't play center field. So you're going to have to put Harper in center. You're going to put McCutchen at right. You're probably going to put Bohm at first. Segura back at shortstop, Didi at third, and then what? You're going to put Kingery at second?
Obviously, if Matten could play third, put Matten at third, Didi short.
He had one hit. This is how bad it's getting. We're depending on a Maton who just had one hit. And we're going to be putting him in our playoff lineup.
His last out was a nice line drive. It was.
It's just
he's shown me more than Moniak and Quinn has in 2 at-bats.
This is the one thing I also have to say about the Phillies. You haven't made the playoffs in a decade. If you miss the playoffs this year, it's going to be one whole decade. You have the 6th highest payroll in the league. If you're Dave Dombrowski, you have to realize that this is the year. It's make or break. It's playoff or bust. Mm-hmm. So you need to think really fast and really hard on what you need to do. So whether it's fix it at the trade deadline, whether it's bring Kingery up, see if he could be the center fielder, you got to do something. You got to do something, and I feel like he will. And it's again me going on the fact that I'm depending on somebody. I'm depending on Ben Simmons. I'm depending on the fact that Howie Roseman will get the draft right. I'm depending on the fact that Joe Girardi will build a good lineup. I'm depending on the fact that Scott Kingery will show up and live up to his contract. You just got to depend on those things, especially as Philadelphia fans, because we have nothing else.
Out of everything you said, Girardi making a good lineup is the best chance you have.
But
because Kingery's not good. Kingery's not good. It's a wrap. He's not good. And to me, in my opinion, I don't believe he's a good player. He's not a starting Major League Baseball player. Ben Simmons.
But you're paying him.
Why do you want to know what we think about that?
But wait, John, but don't you think you got to give him the opportunity? And then from there, it's a 50-50 shot whether he's good or not, because you're paying him to be in that lineup.
It doesn't matter. First of all, he's not getting the opportunity this week. Odubel Herrera is getting the opportunity.
Right,
that's the first. That's the first problem they have to address. Right. Odubel Herrera. If you're in the front office, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Are we going to have this guy on the roster, or are we not?" If he's on the roster, he has to play. If he's not on the roster, he does not play. Look at the Astros. When they took on Roberto Osuna, as soon as he came in, they had a meeting with the team and said, "Listen, we are going to play this guy. Express your feelings now, how you feel about it, and all that, and we're going to move on after this meeting is over." They had the meeting. Everybody expressed how they felt, and they pitched Roberto Osuna the rest of the way, and he made contributions for that team.
Yeah,
that's what they have to do if they're going to keep him. But don't just have the man sitting there in the minor leagues when he's clearly miles away, miles better than every. Odubel on one leg would get more hits than those guys in center field.
That's true.
I honestly believe that.
Yeah, they're crazy bad. So hopefully they do something about the trade deadline, but it's not gonna be anything that major. I mean, unless you trade Hoskins.
Well, I feel like it has to be something major if you're still a 500 baseball team, but you're still in contention for that second wild card because you already had the 6th highest payroll.
They should think about trading Hoskins.
There is somebody.
Yeah, they should have, and we'll bring that up on another show another time. We'll make that a poll question.
So somebody's in free agency right now that I believe the Phillies could sign. Ryan Braun isn't on the team right now.
Sign him.
He isn't on the team right now. What you telling me? Ryan Braun couldn't come in the outfield and play for them?
I'm sorry. Post game right now. Consecutive games without a hit by a starting center fielder. MLB history dating back to 1906. The 2021 Phillies are now in the league. 13 straight games without a hit by a starting center fielder.
And the 2019 San Diego Padres are on that list. That'll never happen again. Look at Ruben Amaro. Nah, but like I said, I feel as though they should go out and try to sign a guy like Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun, at his worst, is levels ahead of Moniak. I don't even got levels ahead of center field. I'm gonna just say levels ahead of center field. Mm-hmm. And you can put him in left put McCutchen in right and Harper in center.
Yeah.
And it just I don't even know how Ryan Braun isn't on the team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, we definitely need to consider picking him up because if you pick him up, he could play left field. Then
and literally anything better than what we have right now.
Well, McCutchen, he's your leadoff hitter, and he's batting in the 130s.
That's disgusting.
And that's why you're a 500 baseball team, because your leadoff hitter is batting 130. Your center fielder hasn't had a hit in 13 straight games. And the bottom half of your rotation, the bottom 2/5 of your rotation is Chase Anderson and Matt Moore. Like, you're going to be a 500 baseball. And that goes to show you how good the other players are. Because if I told you all that, you would think this baseball team should be 3-14 as opposed to, or 3-13 as opposed to 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry.
So they've won baseball games.
Mess that up.
They've won baseball games in spite of that. And we'll see what the curse does with the Marlins. But, John, you bring up a great point because they're doing exactly what they've been doing over the past 3 years. Ew, Gabe Kapler.
That's a winning man right there.
He just looks like a weirdo. Weird Gabe.
That's a winning man right there.
But they're doing what they've been doing over the past 3 seasons. They're winning against the Mets. They're winning against the Braves. They might be winning against Nationals. We don't know yet. The only thing that's been haunting them is the Marlins. If you played 500 baseball against the Marlins over the past 3 seasons, this playoff drought wouldn't be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's true.
So if everything falls into place and you actually like remember how to play baseball when the Marlins play you this year, you're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. They had those like weird games in like the second half of the season where they get swept by the Marlins, or they take only 1 out of the 4 games, and you can't have that. So
no, I think the 2 worst teams in the league are the Phillies against the Marlins and the Mets whenever Jacob deGrom pitches. Those are the 2 worst teams in the league. For some reason, every other player on the field forgets how to play baseball when Jacob deGrom is pitching.
Mm.
Terrible.
It's usually always like a 1-0 win from the Mets pitching.
From either them or the other team.
The man pitched 6 innings and had 14 strikeouts and only won by 1 run. It's ridiculous.
It is.
He struck out 9 in a row at one point in that game.
He's a good pitcher. He's a great pitcher. He's the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best, man. As a Yankees fan, as a Garrett Cole stan, I love Garrett Cole. It's to me, it's not DeGrom's the best, man. Hands down.
Yeah, what's happening with your Yankees, by the way? I always got to bring light. I always had to bring light to my Philadelphia podcasts because it's always something with our teams. But we need to poke fun at the other teams, and obviously we always poke fun at the Yankees. What's going on, bro?
All right, so I got something to say. First of all, it's a long list. I'm gonna start it off with this. Aaron Hicks, for the 2nd year in a row, should not be batting 3rd. He's not a 3rd batter. That's the first problem.
Would you rather have Aaron Hicks or Andrew McCutchen?
You said what?
Would you rather have Aaron Hicks or Andrew McCutchen?
I'd rather have nobody on the field. Left center, right center. They run left center, right center, and hope that they get to it. Then that first problem leads into the second problem. Aaron Boone should have been fired a year ago when he took out Davy Garcia in a game in the playoffs when Davy Garcia allowed no runs in his first 2 innings pitched and put in J.A. Happ, who was washed in a playoff game against the Tampa.
Oh, we love J.A. Happ.
And we lost that game. He should have been fired the day after. But obviously you can't fire nobody in the playoffs, so he should have been fired as soon as that series ended, which ended in what was it? It was in the 7th game or 5 game, whatever it went into, because it was tied, and then that was the tiebreaker game that they lost. The fact that was a game they could have won and should have won, and it was decided by a stupid pitching change like that early on in the game, he should have been fired. And not only that, he was batting Aaron Hicks 3rd when you've got Gleyber Torres, Gio Urshela, Giancarlo Stanton. Who else you got on the team? Gary. I'd rather have Gary Sanchez bat 3rd over Aaron Hicks. Anybody over Aaron Hicks is a 7.
Let me just pause you real quick, and then you can resume your rant. I just want to say you're welcome to all of our viewers because we get to listen to Yankees pain. We could bring it. We could redirect that off the Philadelphia pain because we feel it often. Go ahead, John.
I'd just like to say I saw one of the funniest memes today. It was a Thanos meme, who I like to call Thanos. It was a Thanos meme where it was when he was talking to his daughter.
Yeah.
He was like, she was like, what did you get? He was like, the Knicks are back. And she was like, what did it cost you? He was like, the Yankees. It's just awful right now, man.
Yeah.
It was such as I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm a Pacers fan. So it's kind of like Pacers are hurt.
Yeah, you're a little confused.
Right off.
We get it.
And then the Yankees have a coach who is incompetent. He sucks. Aaron Boone is trash, in my opinion. He is given all. Name a player who has gotten better under Aaron Boone.
I can't. I just thought I thought about Gleyber Torres. No, I thought about Aaron Judge. Yeah, I thought about Aaron Jones or Aaron Judge. No, Aaron Jones running back. I thought about Giancarlo Stanton. No, I'm thinking about Brett Gardner. No.
Gary fell off the face.
Gary Sanchez. No. Maybe Luke Voigt. Is he even on the team anymore?
He's hurt.
Yeah. So you're either hurt or your team just has not shown up.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
mean, Urshela maybe. Urshela's probably
Urshela. That's it. He's the only one.
Yeah. But
you look at somebody like Miguel Andujar, who finishes second in Rookie of the Year, gets one injury. When he comes back, he has never gotten a chance to be a consistent starter.
I mean, LeMahieu was probably improved.
No, but LeMahieu was an animal with Colorado. It was just whether or not you think he could hit outside of Colorado, and he's proven he can by doing good with the Yankees. But he was an animal with Colorado. Made the All-Star team and all that when he was there. It's just, man, Aaron Boone, and the way he handles his pitching is just absolutely awful, man.
Is David Robertson still in the Phillies or no?
I think they released him, right?
Did they?
Yeah, they released.
I know he had like surgery, and he's 36 years old. But
here's the real question: is Sir Anthony still on this roster?
He's still recovering. He's still recovering.
Oh, I haven't seen him pitch in 2 years.
He had Tommy John.
I mean, I guess I've never felt with Tommy John. That's felt like my cousin.
We got Alvarado though, which is like a little bit better version of Sir Anthony.
What? And can I ask you a question? What y'all think about Hector Neris?
Hector Nervous. He's not be our closer.
He's not bad. I hate everyone who like puts so much slander on him. Like that game they lost. I wouldn't say that was really his fault. No.
He blew a save.
You can't score that many. You can't score like how many points?
It was 4-3. They lost, or 5-4. They lost. They lost by 1.
They had so many chances to win that game offensively.
Can I say something?
But you still came in and you still blew the save.
This is where I question.
Oh yeah, that's the doubleheader rule that I freaking hate with a passion. I do not like the 7-inning doubleheader.
Jimmy, this is where I question Girardi. Hector Neris clearly thrives as a setup man.
Yes.
We know this.
Yes.
As fans.
Yep.
The stats show it. So even if you're taking the analytical route, the stats show he thrives as a setup man. He's a really solid setup man. He could be one of the best setup men. Like when he was a setup man for the Phillies like 3 years ago.
He had 20 saves.
He was great.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody is having an off night, you put Neris to close as your setup man, and it's just perfect. And then you put Alvarado as your closer. My question is, how does Girardi see this and he still uses him as a closer?
I don't know what Girardi's thinking. I don't want to give him too much slack because I really don't want to count last season because he had literally no one out of the bullpen. And now he was given 17 setup mans and no closers because you have Archie Bradley, you got Alvarado, you got Connor Brogdon, you got Nervous, you got all these guys. None of them are like legit closers. They're all setup, man.
He disrespected my boy, man.
Bro, it's Hector Nervous, and I will not give him any other name because he always looks freaking nervous. He could have a freaking 7-run lead, and he'll just it's just.
I told you about Connor Brogdon, Jimmy, man. I think he has good stuff.
Bro, I think he can maybe be a closer. I really,
stuff,
yeah. And then you got Archie Bradley, you got Jose Alvarado. You have all these guys that are potential 7th, 8th inning guys, which you love to have, but I would maybe want to trade one of them for a back end starter. Like I don't understand why you got all of them and you didn't focus on getting a guy to replace Jake Arrieta. Because like you said, he's what 3-1, 3.18 ERA with Chicago right now.
Yeah, he's doing really good.
I'm not saying you should have kept Arrieta because he sucked as a Philly.
Yeah,
but you needed to get a guy like him. Jose, I hate the man on second extra inning rule. I despise it. I hate the doubleheader rule where the games only go 7 innings. I think it just takes away from the game of baseball. I don't think it's drawing in any more viewers. I think it's losing you more viewers, in my opinion. Like, that's not how baseball is played. Like, it's just going to completely eliminate those marathon games. So you're never going to have a guy like Roman Quinn come and pitch in a game again, which is fun if you're in a playoff contention, playoff race, and you have a position player come in and win you a game or save you a game.
Yeah.
Like, that's never going to happen again. Like, I feel like it takes the fun out of it, and you're losing baseball fans.
I really don't know how to feel about it. I think I just don't like it because our pitching is so trash towards the back end. I mean, obviously, if it was going to work for us, I'd like it, but I hate the doubleheader, the seventh inning. I hate that. I hate that one. And have we ever won a doubleheader game? I feel like watching them, they've never won one in the last 3 years.
Well, that's another thing about that doubleheader that happened against the Mets. Like I said it before, I was texting Jonathan the one time when DeGrom was pitching the first night, where I said the Mets are going to blow it. They're going to blow it in the 8th and 9th inning. Like those doubleheader games, we had no chance. The Mets were going to beat us because they didn't have a chance to blow it in the 8th and 9th inning. I think that's the reason why we lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I'm kind of like, if they take it away, I won't have a problem with it. If they keep it, I don't have a problem with it. Because, for example, the San Diego and the Dodgers series, 3 straight innings, both those teams had a man on second base. 3 straight innings, they didn't score. But the excitement of like, oh my God, like for example, when the Padres came up and they're the home team, and you're looking at diving plays, guys making clutch strikeouts and all that stuff, it adds to like games like that. It adds to the excitement. But then I see the point where it's like that's not. Why would you just award a team a man on second base?
Yeah,
like,
especially come playoff time. Like, are they doing that in the playoffs?
I'm not
if
sure.
They do that in the playoffs. It's
in the playoffs. I believe it shouldn't be like that because a playoff game is a playoff game at the end of the day. But in a regular season game, you want to speed it up. You don't want a 16 inning game. A viewer is not going to sit there for 16 innings and watch an entire game.
But you're not going to lose local viewers over that. You're trying to gain like overall popularity. You're trying to gain national popularity.
But nobody wants to be watching those marathon games. To be honest, nobody.
For example, Jimmy, say you're a Dodgers fan and you're on the East Coast, because there's a lot of Dodger fans on the East Coast. Say you're a Dodgers fan on the East Coast. The game's going to start at around 10 o'clock, 10:15, right? Imagine a baseball game usually takes around 2.5 hours, right? So imagine a game going a high-scoring game. Not only is it a high-scoring game, but it ends up going 16 innings. You think that viewer on the East Coast is going to stay up?
Well,
no, he's not.
Well, they're not, and that's a great point. And that's why there's 162 games. There's 161 more games that you could watch. Like,
yeah, but by
the time midnight comes around, you're like, all right, bet I'll watch game 2 of this series tomorrow. Whatever happens.
Because I was fully invested in that Dodgers and Padres game, seeing guys like Mookie Betts come up, that man on third base, pop up, and like you see the emotion from them, like, oh my God, I just squandered this opportunity to score this run. Like it added to that game. But then there is a series where it's like, oh my God, look, they just won by 1 run because they had that guy on second base. They had a guy in scoring position automatically. Well,
it's kind of what's happening with. I know you're not a big hockey fan, John, but in NHL, when they go to overtime in the regular season, it's 3-on-3. And if you go to overtime, you get a point towards your standings. So when you go to overtime, you get like rewarded. You get a point, and you're 1 point closer to getting a playoff spot. If you go to extra innings in baseball, you don't get a point. It's either a win or it's an L. And then once you make it to the playoffs in the NHL, they don't do the 3-on-3 hockey anymore. They do regular hockey, regular overtime, 5-on-5, and whoever scores first wins. If there was a new point system where if you make it to extra innings and they made it based off of points, and that's how you are ahead in baseball standings, then sure. But if it's just to make it exciting, that's just not. I feel like it's not going to make a difference at all. So, but
I feel as though they take it away, I wouldn't care. If they kept it, I wouldn't care. That's just my final take on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Y'all lost to Brandon Belt.
We really did.
In 2021, y'all lost to Brandon Belt. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at earlier, John.
Oh my God. What was that? What just happened to that fan?
He went X Games mode and busted.
How did you fall like that? I'm just confused as to how you fall like that.
Yeah, Tom, it was a tough day for Philadelphia. They messed up my parlay. Yeah. So
that's why I feel like I don't want to bet on Philly sports because I always know like they'll ruin it.
Yeah, Jimmy never bets with me. Jimmy never bets with me.
I don't bet on my home teams with my friends. I'll bet on like BetMGM or FanDuel or whatever. I'm not betting with my friends.
Being consistent in the chat. Shout out to Joey.
Yeah, you're bringing up some good questions. And I would stop watching baseball if they made it a robot. I would totally stop watching baseball, and I'm not even exaggerating. The umpire, I know we like to say referees aren't a part of the game, but they are. They bring excitement to the atmosphere. They bring excitement to the stadium. They bring excitement to what happens, and it's especially the case when it's baseball. They'll make a bad call. Your best player argue like Bryce Harper. They'll make a bad call consistently. Your manager come out, and the most exciting thing in baseball is an ejection. So you're just taking that out of the game, and you're going to be losing more viewers than gaining. It's just that simple. And I don't care about the accuracy because it's been like this for 115 years, 150 years.
Here's what I'll say. I think that I don't believe that. I mean, I don't think that computers should umpire, but I do believe the second part. I think they should start holding these umpires accountable because, as I said, I watched those games, and Joey watched those games with me. Some of the calls in that game were just, especially the third game of the series. I'm talking about where how some umpires, they're calling outside pitches. So if it's a couple inches off the plate, you got to foul it off because they've been calling that. When I tell you they were calling pitches a couple inches off the plate, outside, high, low, inside, you literally did not know what this umpire was going to call a strike. It was terrible. So I do believe a game like that where umpires, both sides.
Well, they get fined. Then you fine him. Then you fine him.
Yeah.
If it's in bad calls, you fine him.
I believe there should be like a set of, for example, you see how NBA, a team rests somebody for no reason, $25,000. I wouldn't say $25,000 for an umpire because obviously they're not getting paid as much as those teams, but like a $5,000 fine.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, your job is umpire a game, and if you're just completely atrocious, you should at least see some punishment for it.
Well, yeah, you get suspended for 2 games without pay, or you get suspended a series without pay if it gets that bad, like it did against the Dodgers and Padres.
Yeah. It was really bad.
We got people filtering in from Monday Morning Quarterback, I believe. Tom, we were talking about Herrera. Center fielder's atrocious. We saw it on the thing, 12 or 13 straight games without a hit by a center fielder. Herrera's going to be up by May. By May 1st, Herrera will be up. Phillies game opinions. We've been talking about it. The lineup needs to be fixed by Girardi. Our 4th and 5th pitcher they got to go. They suck. They freaking suck.
Here we go. Something I forgot to bring up. I believe. What's the point of bringing these has-beens, which I believe they are, in Anderson and Matt Moore, when you got guys who at least have potential in Spencer Howard and Adonis Medina? Why not bring them up as your 4 or 5? What is it going to hurt their development? I mean, it's hurting their development, the fact that they're just sitting in the alternate site doing nothing but facing guys who aren't going to go anywhere when they could be in the major leagues holding down that 4 or 5 spot while you got these
old guys start somewhere. Start somewhere.
Yeah, I put them at the 4 and 5 spot because, first of all, Adonis Medina last year had a game where he pitched 5 innings and allowed 1 run. The next day, he got brought down to the alternate site and never got brought up again.
Sorry, I just saw a commercial where TJ McConnell's getting up into DeMar DeRozan's face.
My boy.
But John, I disagree to it because if they are thriving in the minor league and you're on the edge of that, hey, I'm in first place in the NL East, or I'm on the verge of that second or first wild card, you can use them as trade bait to get a legitimate proven fourth or fifth starter, or a legitimate proven center fielder, or a legitimate proven left fielder. So if they thrive in AAA, get rid of them. Like you have a rotation that's secure you have a top three that's secure over the next 3-4 years. You have a lineup that's pretty much secure for the next 2 or 3 years. You stay with that lineup, and then you put Band-Aids in the spots that you are bleeding out of. And you're bleeding profusely out of some of these spots, and that's why you're a 500 baseball team right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just believe a guy like Adonis Medina, who currently isn't ranked as a top prospect, but in your organization, he's one of your best prospects. I feel as though a guy like him you could try out, and he's a guy that you have hinted at bringing up for multiple years, but has never really gotten his chance. You're looking at a guy like Matt Moore, you're going nowhere with him. You're looking at a guy with Chase Anderson, you're going nowhere with him. Who knows if Adonis Medina comes up and holds down that 4 spot, or if Spencer Howard comes down and holds down that 4 spot. Now that's one less problem you have to deal with. If they don't do good at the end of the day, they're still young. They're still on these lists. These teams aren't going to say, "Oh yeah, he had a bad game."
Well, here's my rebuttal. Did we bring up Scott Kingery too soon, and then did we glorify him too soon and pay him too soon? Did we bring up or did we glorify Rhys Hoskins too soon? Like, you've done this with guys before. Are you going to make these same mistakes with these young pitchers by bringing them up too soon and then they just completely sink and die, basically?
I mean, you guys see what they have first.
Yeah,
like,
you guys
players like Hoskins and Kingery, they came in with a spark and they sparked the team.
But this is what happens in Philadelphia. Like, Evan and
I agree.
We're 4 for 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
John, you see it more with the Eagles. We see these young guys and we put way too much expectation. We did it with Ben Simmons. We did it with Carson Wentz. We did it with all these young guys. We're doing it with Rhys Hoskins. We did it with Scott Kingery. You bring them up and you play them, and then you shit on them when they do bad, and then they either A, lose their confidence, or B, you trade them, or C, you do all of the above. Like, are you going to do that with the 2 best prospects that you have? I don't want to do that.
I'd say you try at least one of them.
Well, you already tried with Spencer Howard, and he was average at best.
You got another one right there, Adonis Medina. You got to find something because you don't want to concede games every 4th and 5th day.
Well,
and that's what they're doing.
That's why you need to either figure out a free agency or you need to make a trade now. Like, you need to do something. But I don't think bringing up Spencer Howard or Adonis Medina is.
But that's what I'm saying. It's very apparent that they're not doing anything right now. They're not going to sign anybody right now, and they're not going to trade for anybody right now. So you got to deal with making sure you don't fall too far behind. And with having Chase Anderson and whoever the hell they're going to put at number 5 spot, now that Matt Morris hurt, why not use that 5th spot or 4th spot to at least get some looks on those guys? If they do bad, no team is going to say, man, Spencer Howard had a bad 2 games in April, and Adonis Medina had a bad 2 games in April. That completely changed my opinion on them. They're young. They know that they can develop. There's a reason why they're on those prospect lists. They're not going to get – their trade value is not going to go down over 2 bad starts in April. Look at Spencer Howard. What did he do in the major leagues last year? Absolutely nothing. Is he still a top 100 prospect?
He played below average.
And he's still a top 100 prospect, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if he plays like that again, he's going to be a non-top 100 prospect, and we're gonna either run him out of town, and he's just going to lose the confidence.
But those guys that see him, but that's why I say, I'm not saying keep him up for the entire season. I'm saying get a look. You got to at least give him a look. That's what I said.
Yeah, somebody's trying to shoot their shot.
Look at you, Jimmy. I mean, not Jimmy, Evan.
Somebody's trying to shoot their shot. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
That boy, Evan.
Let's talk some Flyers real quick. What do you think, Jimmy?
Flyers? I think they suck. I think I'm a fool.
Thinking now, like what's happening?
They fooled me.
Bamboozled.
They bamboozled me. They hoodwinked me.
Bamboozled. Run amok.
They've done everything to me. They literally hurt me. They were literally the only hope I had during like COVID when it came to sports. It was the only sports that it was the only sports that I actually enjoyed to watch during COVID.
Yeah.
Because Eagles sucked. Phillies didn't have a bullpen, so they blew every lead. The Sixers just fell apart in the bubble. The Flyers were the only hope, so we thought they were the best team in this town. And then this season happened, and they tried replacing Matt Niskanen with Shane Gostisbehere and Eric Gustafson. They're bad. They're bad. We thought they had a great mixture of young talent and old talent, and that obviously just went right out the door. So
I think the trade deadline was like the worst about it. I think it was like the nutshell of the team this year. Getting rid of Michael Raffle, who's been producing. You got rid of like some players that have been doing well. Like that's bad for like 7th round picks. Like, come on.
Yeah. So, and we're also going to be called Flyer casuals because we're probably not going to talk about them again until they
be relevant again.
Yeah. But nobody wants to hear about the Flyers because A, they suck, and B, it's hard to watch bad hockey. Like it's fun to watch good hockey, but it's hard to watch bad hockky.
Can I say something too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jimmy knows this. Like, this was actually the first year where I was gonna actually kind of pay attention to hockey because I wasn't a hockey fan like my entire life basically. But like I saw a couple of playoff games last year and I was like, oh, these games are actually fun. I'm gonna actually pay attention this year. And then I watched one game and it's like 9-0, and I'm like, okay.
That was the Rangers game.
I was like, man, what is going on here? I don't think I can watch this anymore.
Yeah, so that's the reason why we're not probably going to be able to talk about the Flyers until preseason next season. I hope we don't have to bring up the Flyers ever again until that comes up, unless we make a big splash in the trade market or free agency.
I don't even think it will matter. You can bring in a whole all-star team. We're still going to choke.
The one thing I do want to say, I don't think this is on AV at all.
Anthems.
I don't think this is on Alain Vigneault at all. I think this is the fact that they didn't listen to me. I said that we needed a top defenseman with Provorov, and I said that we needed a grinder and a guy that would knock you in the mouth, and they didn't get any of them. And that's why you are 12 points out of a playoff spot right now.
And that's why after this year, you need to really like ship out those guys like Voracek. Not even Couturier. Couturier's been pretty good, but just
Voracek, Van Riemsdyk, and Van Riemsdyk had a good year, but
Hayes,
you're in salary hell. You can't get rid of Hayes. He has no trade clause. Like he really freaking sucked this year.
How long is he on contract for? Is that a 3-year, 4-year?
6-year contract, I think. So he's got 4 years left. So hopefully he just had a bad season.
He got rid of Gostisbehere.
And then he came back. He came back because he cleared waivers.
Okay.
Because that's how bad he sucks.
Yeah.
Jose's out here bringing up another good question because you guys said all that, and I said we were going to be fine. So here we go.
I said we didn't have a chance, and I mean, seeing what I'm seeing right now against a few of these teams, like I know it's really early. I'm not going to say I still stand by that comment, but I wouldn't be surprised if we still don't make the playoffs. I really wouldn't be. Because they always start off hot and then they get pulled down to earth so quickly. I remember I commented in the A2D like the messages in the group meeting or whatever it is. I said that I was mad because we weren't even ranked top 10, and then the Phillies go and get swept by the Mets, and I'm just like,
yeah. Ever since you said that, because we were 5-1 when you said that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So this is your fault, right?
I think so.
Honestly, I feel the exact same way that I felt before the season.
Even about the bullpen?
Nah, I believe the bullpen is a lot better, but I do believe that the starting pitching, the 4 or 5 spots, like I said before, I believe that's what's going to really hold them back. And then just the inconsistencies of the lineup. Like I know he's hitting really good right now, Bryce Harper, but at any moment, we know a slump could happen. And then for some reason, when he slumps, the whole team slumps. So, and you look at JT.
I could say the same about your boy.
Who?
Machado.
Top 3 in MVP last year, but we'll continue.
How about 2 years ago?
They both did bad 2 years ago.
Bad. They both did bad. Harper had the second best statistical season of his career 2 years ago.
If that was his second best statistical year 2 years ago, oof.
He performed light years better than Machado's first year after they both got $300 million.
We don't need to compare. I'm a guy who looks at recency, and
Remember how we almost signed both of them?
First of all, if you would have signed both of them, you'd be in a very nice spot right now.
I don't know. Would we?
I believe you would. You'd have a top 3 third baseman. Because to me, it's Arenado, him, and Jose Ramirez to me.
But then you also got to see that right field's probably the right field and maybe shortstop's the best position in the MLB when it comes to talent wise.
And center, I'd say center field too.
Where would Baum fit?
You got Mike Trout, and you got Mike Trout in center field. Mookie plays center sometimes. Bellinger in center.
Well, I was counting Mookie as a right fielder, but
all right. So yeah, you got Mike Trout in center field. You got Bellinger in center field. You got some good center fielders out there. I feel like at every position it's kind of like a top 2. Like you look at shortstop. To me, the top 2 at shortstop are Lindor and Corey Seager right now, and Tatis too. And then you got third base. You kind of got Arenado and Machado holding down third base. Right field, you got Mookie and Harper. You could throw in Yelich there too, but Yelich has kind of been hurt the last 2 years, so kind of have to take him out of that.
I mean, at least we had the best catcher, right?
we
that's probably like the least. That's probably like the least important.
Yeah. Like I feel like a catcher in baseball is like a running back in football.
It's like it's really nice to have, but if you had the best catcher, you're not gonna. That's not gonna carry.
Yeah, no,
it's not gonna carry your team.
No,
like you easily could have gotten McCann, and you could have signed Bauer.
Literally,
like it's like I'd much rather have McCann and Bauer rather than JT right now. And I might be classified as a hater and somebody that I don't know who I'm talking about, but like I said, if Eflin's your 4th right now, we are not 8-8. If Bauer's your 8th right now, we are not 8-8. Because that means Matt Moore didn't have to pitch.
That's facts.
And then you do have that extra player to bring up. I know it's so many factors would have had to go into it, but you would have still had
Medina or Spencer Howard as your 5th.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't feel comfortable bringing up both of them. But if you had Bauer, I would have been perfectly fine with Spencer Howard being your 5th starter this year. Perfectly fine with that. But you didn't, so
yeah.
No, and it's just sad to see because it's like you've got Harper for 13 years, but it's like if you miss the playoffs again, it's kind of like, man, how is he gonna feel? Like, man, 3 straight years started this off. I'm at home in September.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? It's not a good feeling.
I say Angels. I feel like if the Angels break through and make the playoffs with Trout this year, I feel like Trout will just go off. And that would be great to see as a South Jersey guys.
Who do you guys think the best player in baseball is right now?
Mike Trout.
And then
debate about it last show. Everyone was saying Acuna. Before Acuna had the great stretch where he had like 3 home runs, 4 home runs, 4 straight games.
I think it's Trout, and then second would probably be DeGrom.
I go Mookie Betts second. I think Mookie Betts, the fact that you can play him in right and center, he's going to give you the same goal defense at both while giving you over 300 or over 30 home runs every year.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Mookie's definitely undisputed top 5, top 4. Yeah. But all those guys are flirting right there. But I think Trout's on a level of his own.
Yeah, and then to me, if you tell me to pick between Acuna and Juan Soto, Juan Soto all day. Juan Soto, to me, definitively is the best hitter in the league.
I remember he had his coming out game against the Phillies when he was first brought up. Yeah, and he had 2 home runs against the Phillies, and one guy was like, "Who the hell is this kid? Why the hell are you letting Soto crush us? He just came down. He can't be that good." And then boom, he went off right from there.
Soto, man, the thing with Soto is he combines the discipline with the power.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can't do that, and that's what he does. He controls the strike zone. Like
Oh, yeah.
If he doesn't like it, he's not going to swing, and he's going to let you know he doesn't like it. He's going to do his little dance and stuff like that. He's going to want to pitch to him. That's what makes him a great hitter. He's just different, man.
Yeah.
Julian, I stand by what I said. I don't think you guys realize the significance of having Zach Eflin as your fourth starter as compared to Matt Moore. You probably have 3 more wins. You're probably 11-5 as opposed to 8-8. You have no question. You have a certified ace in Trevor Bauer, and then you have Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler as a 2 and 3 where they should be. You wouldn't have to depend on them, and then your bullpen would be rested because you have 4 guys that can give you 6-7 innings without a doubt. And then you could get a replacement. You can easily get a catcher to catch the ball and bat 250. That's what a catcher really should do, right?
Yeah.
Bat 250, give you 12, 15 home runs, give you 50, 60 RBIs, and catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather have an ace as opposed to the best catcher in baseball. And I don't even think that's a debate.
Yeah.
Can I say something too?
Yeah.
As somebody who played baseball all my life, there's no better feeling as a hitter than when you know you have a great starting pitcher on the other end.
Yep.
It takes the pressure off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Nights like tonight, you can tell the Phillies are pressing. Why?
Yeah.
Because they know we've got to score because we don't know what the hell we're going to get out of this starter.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you have Trevor Bauer pitching, a hitter could go into the game freeze. He could be basically like, man, all I got to do is bring this one run in, and we're gonna win.
Yeah, I think they had 4 straight innings of leaving 2 runners on base. That's atrocious. That's so bad.
And that's because you're pressing like, oh my God, I have to bring these runs in. I have to bring these runs in. Where it's like, if the game is 0-0, you're like, all right, we're good. We know Bauer's gonna hold it down. Or even a game like tonight, if it's 2-0 and Trevor Bauer's pitching, you're thinking that's the only 2 they're gonna get, and all we gotta do is just put up 3 and we'll win. When Chase Anderson's pitching, you're like, oh, I don't know how much we're gonna have to score.
Julian, I can't agree with you more. And that's what I was saying. That's why I said if it came down to the fact that you wanted to spend money on JT, I would have taken that money and put it into Bauer's paycheck. That's what I was saying. So,
and here's what I'll say. Like,
Julian's kind of a hater, I think.
I don't believe JT is overrated.
I think Philadelphia overrates him.
Yes, there you go. In terms of Major League Baseball, he is a top catcher in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, this isn't a top point guard. This isn't a top small forward. This is a top catcher in Major League Baseball.
Like a 6-man coming off the bench. That's pretty much what it is.
This is like having put like this. He's a Tobias.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to win you it. You have to have other great pieces around him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. With the money he's being paid, he is being asked to win you a game that he cannot. Bauer, every 5th game, it's in his hand.
Yep.
And he's going to win it for you.
And that's what we were saying in the beginning. He is a catcher in baseball is the equivalent to a running back in football.
Mm-hmm.
Like any given year, a running back can come off and become a top 10 running back in the league, depending on the system. Why have JT Realmuto when you have a guy like Matt Moore pitching to him, or Chase Anderson pitching to him, or Vince Velasquez pitching to him, or a Spencer Howard pitching to him who's not ready?
Yeah,
it's terrible. So
he's a top catcher, but he's not a top player. That's what it is.
Exactly. It's like center's a bad comparison because we have the best basketball player in basketball and he's a center. But the Nets don't need a center. The Lakers don't need a center. The Clippers don't need a center. All the other top teams, they don't need a center. Top teams in baseball, they don't need a catcher. They don't need the best catcher in baseball because they have 3-4 guys that can give you 6-7 innings of 1 or 2 earned runs.
Look at the Dodgers. Will Smith is a great catcher, but he's not going to win you a game, and they understand that. So what do they have? Mookie Betts, Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy, Corey Seager, and then look at the pitching. Trevor Bauer, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Dustin May.
Yep.
They just have great pitching.
Mhm.
Like that's the difference.
Mhm.
I mean, as long as they're behind the plate, saving balls, making sure nothing goes behind.
Yeah. As long as you can block,
the purpose.
as long as you can block and have good communication with your starting staff, and go to the plate, give you 250 to 280 every year with at least 15 to 20 home runs, you are gonna be a starting catcher on any team.
And this is another example of our organization blowing something because of pressure from the fans, pressure from the media. You blew it with Carson Wentz because of the fans and the media, and you blew it with JT Realmuto. Maybe you could have signed him to the right price, but $100 million could have gone to Trevor Bauer. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that. You blew it as usual because you're soft. Every organization in the city is soft. And that's why we don't win championships. That's why we don't go far in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Because you make impulse decisions. You try and please everybody in the city, which you're never going to do. You need to start making smart decisions.
Like trading Ben Simmons for James Harden.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, but
okay.
It's true.
I'm not trading a 24-year-old kid that has proven that he can guard any position on the court, that has proven that he has a very, very, very wet jump shot. Pause.
Proven it. Where?
Yeah, where when is
whenever he shoots the three, it's all net. And there's people in his face.
Dwight Howard has proven to me he can make threes.
Yeah.
Not
Not what?
Not at the consistency of Ben Simmons.
What do you say?
What do you mean consistency? Ben shoots one every 5 years.
Yeah, and he makes it. 100%.
And so does Dwight.
100%.
So does JaVale McGee. It's true.
We'll see what happens in the playoffs.
And let me tell you something. The pick and roll with James Harden and Joel Embiid would have been the most unstoppable set.
And James Harden is a 30-year-old proven loser.
And what is Ben Simmons? A 24-year-old proven loser.
I don't think you could prove anything at 24 years old in the NBA. That's just me.
Prove that he scored 1 point in a playoff game.
I mean, you can prove that, but you could also prove that he scored 42 points.
And nobody could ever say James Harden came into a game and didn't try. He gonna put it out there. He gonna try.
No, he's gonna try and get you a triple double.
That's what I'm saying, though. You know,
He is going to try and give you a triple double. He's not going to try and win the game.
Jim, come on.
He's a stat patter.
He's not a stat patter.
No, he's not.
Bro, he literally yelled at his teammates.
That's Russell.
If you had that, if you had
his teammates in Houston for stealing rebounds from him because he didn't get a triple double, and that happened multiple times.
If you had that narrative before he got to Brooklyn, I don't blame you. But in Brooklyn, you see what he does when he has a competent team around him and a competent system.
Bro, he had a competent team. He had a competent team in Houston. And then his weird general manager, who's now our general manager, blew it up and made Robert Covington their center.
That's what I'm saying.
To try and appease James Harden.
But what I'm saying, no,
appease. You don't think James Harden had a say in that? You don't think James Harden was their best player? Daryl Morey was listening to James Harden.
The reason why I don't believe it was Harden is because what was great for James Harden when he was there? The pick and roll with Capella.
All right, and he kept losing.
But what I'm saying is,
so they tried to make something else work.
The thing was, Russ was driving too much, and it was too clogged. He believed.
This is why they didn't trade for James Harden. First of all, the price was astronomical. Second of all, we don't know if Joe's ever going to stay healthy or not. And they've seen what James Harden does by himself. He's a proven loser. They haven't seen what Ben Simmons can do by himself yet. They've seen glimpses of it, but that's when he was 22 years old. But he's 22 and 23 years old.
What about this year?
James Harden is 30. What he does by himself. That's why they didn't trade Ben Simmons.
Can we compare something real quick? How did Harden play with KD and Durant out with a worse supporting? In your words, they had a worse supporting cast than the Sixers had, right?
Repeat that again. I was looking at a comment.
You said the Nets have a worse supporting cast.
They do,
right?
Yeah.
What did Harden do when Kyrie and Durant were sitting out games with that worse supporting cast? Compare that to what Ben Simmons did with that supporting cast.
Whoa. Both at the same time, Ben Simmons held the first seed, and James Harden was still flirting with the second seed. So what are you talking about?
No, James Harden.
Because Kevin Durant was out, Kyrie Irving was out. James Harden was carrying the team, right?
They were winning.
But Ben Simmons was winning games too. right?
Bro,
That's why they've
but he
been first
didn't
place
have
the
a
whole
spot.
time, even when your
Bro,
MVP was out.
take away and beat it Tobias. Do they win those games?
No.
Bro, if you take away
Absolutely
Ben,
not.
do they win those games?
If you take away Harden, Kyrie, and Durant, do they win those games? No. If you take away Embiid,
Yeah.
it's like you're saying. Look, this is what I'm saying, Jimmy. You took away, in the Nets terms, his Embiid and his Tobias, even though those guys are better than. I mean, I think Durant is better than Embiid, and I think Kyrie's better than Tobias. But
Embiid is better than Durant, and then Kyrie's better than Tobias. But go
so
ahead.
regardless, they cancel out. They cancel out.
Yeah.
You took those guys away. Are you telling me Ben Simmons will win more games than James Harden?
Yes. Yes.
I don't think so, Jimmy.
And that's just a hypothetical.
Jimmy,
atrocious.
if you,
That's an
if, you
atrocious
have,
take.
if you have Harden, the Nets don't have Harden. Think of it like that. Then who's gonna beat us? Who's gonna beat us in the Eastern Conference?
James Harden had
The
the
Nets
Nets.
wouldn't beat us.
James Harden had the Nets by himself, and Ben Simmons had the Sixers by himself.
Wait, and why are you saying like that as if the Sixers didn't already establish a great lead over the Nets before that stretch?
But they still have it, and they still had it. They never
Did the
fell.
Net-
They
did
never
the
fell in second place.
Did the Nets not? I mean, did Harden not keep the Nets in the same spot though? Did he not keep winning games?
He didn't bring them to the first seed. Ben Simmons kept them in
Oh,
the first
there
seed.
was already a comfortable lead.
But that's what I'm saying. We're all overreacting with Ben
I think he
Simmons,
brought
but
them
we still
closer.
been first in the East the whole time.
He
And your
allowed
MVP
the
player
Nets-
wasn't playing in the
But
last
you keep
month.
saying Ben when he had Tobias with him. Harden didn't have Kyrie
Okay,
with
if you take Ben, are you still in first place?
him.
No.
I'm just saying I believe Harden is a better leader of a team than Ben Simmons is.
Is that why James Harden is 30 years old and is still hadn't make the NBA Finals since he was with the Oklahoma City Thunder? When
Nah,
he's been the MVP, he's been the MVP multiple times, right? And he has choked in the he has choked in the playoffs.
I don't believe it's choke. I believe it's just a matter of
And the fact that our MVP can't stay healthy, Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, Doc Rivers, they're scared to just throw away Ben Simmons for a guy that has proven to be a loser.
Here's what I'll say. I don't believe it was a matter of him choking. I believe it was a matter of him.
I'm always drunk, Jose.
Somebody say you're drunk? Yeah, bro, you're drunk, man. You're drunk. Listen, the problem is Harden was taxed all because another thing about Harden, he plays every night. When he's healthy, he's there every night. And every night you're gonna have him handling the ball. Every night he's gonna go all out.
And he's 30 years old and he hasn't won a ring yet.
What I'm saying is you had him doing that for 82 games and then going into the playoffs and asking him to continue to do that while nobody else was taking the load off of him.
All right.
That was the problem with that system. And that's why he'd be so tired. You put him with Embiid, where he can have nights where he can just chill, let Embiid eat. You telling me come playoff time, that pick and roll with him and Embiid. Not only that, if you double Embiid, you're kicking it out to James freaking Harden.
And Harden's always been the best player. Besides his day in the early days of OKC, he's always been the best player, really.
Yeah, and
he has Embiid with him. He has Embiid with him. He's the second option, but he's like a first option. So
yeah,
he would be the go-to guy. I mean, in the last couple of
look
minutes.
at how great he played when he got to Brooklyn. When he finally wasn't just the number one, the only number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. John gets it. John Malmus gets it, not Jonathan Almonte. It's really simple. The proof is in the playoffs. Choke again, and Ben comes up short. Something will need to be done. That's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
and then you got guys like Psycho, who's just a Ben hater.
It's true.
Right.
You keep dreaming.
He's
You keep
right.
dreaming.
He just
He's
turned
right.
24 years old. He turned 24 years old this year.
But Jimmy,
So you're trading away Ben Simmons, who's going to be the defensive player of the year.
Evan, can I tell you how old this take is from Jimmy?
I know. I've been talking about it for years about this.
In
2019
beginning of 2019,
when Ben was 21 years old.
we were in class, and Jimmy said, I would not give up on Ben Simmons this early because look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. I believe we'd be giving up the next Giannis.
Yeah, and it took Giannis how many years to become who Giannis
First
is?
of all, how old is Giannis now?
26? 27?
You telling me 2 years ago? 2 years ago, Giannis won his first MVP when he was 24.
Okay, so Ben Simmons wins his first MVP at 24, 25 years old next year.
He's not gonna. No,
That's not going to happen, Jimmy.
he's not
It's
even.
And not only that, Not only that,
What
the
did
year
Giannis?
before
What
that-
did Giannis do in his 4th year? This is Ben's 4th year. What did Giannis do in his 4th year?
I'm gonna pull up the stats.
All right, go ahead.
Without a Joel Embiid, without a Tobias too. So don't even come with that.
Damn, Jay, you're in deep shit right now.
I'm not a kid. I know what I'm talking about.
I know my boy Giannis.
I know what I'm talking about.
In his 4th year, Giannis made his first All-Star team, averaged 23 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, while stealing 1.6. He had 1.6 steals a game and 2 blocks a game.
Okay.
At the age of 22. Compare his age 22 season to Ben Simmons' 22 season.
He was 22 years old
Yes.
in his 4th season.
Yes, I'm looking at it right here.
I'm gonna need to fact check that.
I got it right here for you. I don't know if it was.
I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up. 2016.
You see that, Evan?
2017.
I see it.
You see the 22 right there, right? Where it says
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so we'll see what happens next year in Ben's 5th season.
Do you want to
'Cause
compare his age 23 season to Ben's 23 season?
No. I'm talking about 4th and 5th seasons, like I've been saying.
All right, compare his
4th and
5th.
5th seasons.
His fifth. How about his 5th?
Ben
Compare his
Simmons
5th.
isn't in his 5th season.
I'm saying next year. This is what he'll have to do.
I will.
He'll
And
have
that's
to
what I'm
average.
saying.
I'm saying Ben will have to average 27 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks.
All right. Well, he has the steals in the blocks
Wake
down.
me up when that happens.
He has the steals in the blocks down. He has the assists down by +5, +4, maybe +3, because he's at eight assists right now, and he'll
Yeah,
have
so
the rebounds down.
he's at +3. And then
So-
the rebounds, he'd have to add +3 more rebounds.
So-
and then he'd have to
so if
add
my- so if
12
my-
points.
So if my prediction is right and he starts getting that jump shot in the playoffs, he will add 12 points. I'm telling him to pull up 4 to 5 times or 6 to 7 times, make 4 or 5 of them at the top of the key. That's what, 8 points? We all know math, right?
Continue.
So that would go up to 25 points, 26 points.
No, he's averaging 14 right now, so it'd go up to 22.
Yes, but his career average is what, 16?
So it'd go up to 24. Okay.
What kind of star point guard defends the 4 and the 5, or the best player on the court? What kind of star point guard defends LeBron James? What kind of star point guard defends Kevin
Stop
Durant?
saying it. Stop saying it.
What do you mean?
He's not a point guard.
He is a point guard.
He really isn't a point guard.
He is a point guard.
He's not a point
He is listed as a point guard.
A
and
point guard
he-
shoots buckets.
Not only that. Stop saying he
He's a
defends him.
point
He
guard.
defends him for 1 quarter. He defends him for 1 quarter. He lets Danny Green run around with them, tire them out, make them shoot contested shots,
Is
have
that
to
why-
earn all their points. And then
wait,
the fourth quarter-
wait. Is that why Kyrie dropped 37 points the other night? Is that why Kyrie or Steph
Yes.
Curry dropped 43 points tonight?
Yes, that's why.
All right. So when Ben Simmons wants to play basketball in the playoffs, let's see if they score that many points then. Maybe
First
he's
of all-
just saving his body.
First of all,
Kyrie's not going to score
no,
that
no,
many because he's
You
got all
just
3
said
guys.
that. You just said that
Jimmy,
James Harden tried
Would
every.
you like to have a
single game.
bet?
You
Would you like
just.
to have a bet?
I don't bet on my players with my friends.
Hold on. It's not on your players. It's how much you want to bet if this series happens. So it's still a lot of hypotheticals with this bet. Kevin Durant averages 30 in that series.
He won't, and I'll bet you that.
How much you want to bet? Remember, he has to play.
Build
They have to
off.
play each other, obviously.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even think he's going to be playing all 7 games.
That's what I'm saying. If he's not playing, obviously the bet cancels out. But if all things considered, they all play and they're all there, what you want to put on it?
Bro, I don't know.
We'll put
I'm still waiting for
I'm
Evan
not
to get
putting
a
any
full
damn
pick.
money on that because I really don't know.
I'm still waiting. I already made a bet once, but
I'll put a 20 on that, Jimmy.
on this show, I've already made a bet, and the jersey still has not been ordered by Evan.
What is the bet?
So I am 1 for 1 with bets on this show.
What was the bet?
It was if Ben Simmons hit the 3 while Joel Embiid was out, Evan would have to buy a Carson Wentz Colts jersey. And if he didn't hit the 3 while Ben was out, or while Joe was out, I would have to buy a Jalen Hurts jersey.
Well,
But my boy Ben Simmons came up clutch. So
can we bet the
Yeah,
$20 that my boy Durant is going to drop 30 a game on your boy Ben?
it's not gonna happen. What if like what you're saying is true and Danny Green's covering
That's even worse for Ben then. Ben should switch on to him. It's a 7-game series. There's no reason the guy should average 30 against one of the greatest defenders of all time.
But what if James Harden is shitting and Ben ends up keeping Harden under 30?
First of all, they're not going to put Ben on Harden. It's not going to happen.
Why?
Because why would you put 6'6" Danny Green on 7-foot Durant instead of putting 6'6" Danny Green on 6'6" Harden and having 7-foot Ben on 7-foot Durant?
What if you put 7'2" Joe on Kevin Durant?
He's going to get cooked
But you're saying that Joe's the defensive player of the year.
because of the way
In
he
the
helped
paint,
out.
he is not.
Yes,
not
he helped.
And that goes back to one of my other points. It's not a best center in the league. That's not the award for defensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year is a guy that can guard 1 through 5.
No, that's not.
That is the
That's
best
not it. It's
defender
the
in the
best defensive player. The best defensive player, in my
The best
opinion.
defensive player should guard Kevin Durant, right?
But why isn't Ben guarding Kyrie that night? Why isn't Ben guarding Paul George that night?
Because
And at the end of the day, every center at one
because
point
they won. First of all, they won the game. Second of all, why does he need to exert all of his energy in a
Not only
regular
that, the impact. It's the impact. Another thing, the best
season? The impact. They just lost to one player tonight without Ben Simmons.
First of all, though, my thing is when Ben is there, the reason why Ben can take all these risks is because he knows no guard is going to go up on Joel Embiid. When Embiid was out, guys were going in that paint whenever they wanted.
And we still won.
You said what?
And we still won.
Yeah, but that wasn't because of Ben.
But if Ben wasn't there, we wouldn't have won.
I think I would have.
I mean, that's a starter though. That's just how it should be because you don't have a starter playing.
It's facts.
Because you would have been without Joel, you would have been without Ben Simmons.
Hold up. Any team that loses loses 2 of their starters is going to lose a game, unless you're James Harden and you're running it up for the Nets.
Yeah, but
Which is exactly what he did.
and we all know James Harden is a regular season player. He's not a playoff player. And that's why you didn't trade for him.
I feel like Harden's going to go off this playoffs. I feel like he'll go off just
because you're a hater of Ben Simmons. That's why you think it's going to happen.
No, it's just, bro.
I'm woke right now.
You're
Harden
woke.
is
You're a
comfortable.
hater. You're a woke hater.
Bro, Harden is comfortable. He finally doesn't have to have
Listen to your cousin.
Listen. First of all.
Listen to your cousin.
First of all, Amanda literally calls Ben Simmons one of her baby dads. So
Listen
literally,
to your cousin.
She loves Ben Simmons. She's a Ben Simmons lover. She knows damn well Ben Simmons ain't doing his job.
So she's good company. She's not a hater. She knows what she's talking about.
She needs to open her eyes. Come on, cuz. You know better than that. Look, she's laughing right now. Joey, Steph ain't going to the Lakers. Don't be one of those Lakers fans that think that everybody's coming to the team.
Oh, not a Laker fan. Is that why you hated on that?
Kawhi Leonard's going to the Warriors next year.
Bro, Kawhi is staying. Listen, Kawhi's not going nowhere. Kawhi wants to be in LA. He's not going nowhere. And they have a comfortable team now. They know their roles. Getting Rondo
until they lose this year.
You said what?
Until they lose this year.
I honestly think they might. There's a chance they could win and go to the finals.
How they losing?
I'm telling you, getting Rondo. I'm telling you.
Whoever wins the East is winning the finals.
Want to bet?
You're such a gambler.
I am, man. I take risks.
Yo, 1-800-GAMBLER, bro.
Nah, but I wouldn't even bet on that though, because if Brooklyn gets out and the Lakers get out, I think Brooklyn would beat the Lakers.
Bro, if whoever comes out, Nets or Sixers, they're winning the finals.
In my opinion, though,
because that series is going to be such a hard-fought series.
And I know you're gonna shoot it down, Jimmy, but I do think the fact that the Bucks are being slept on is gonna help them out going into the playoffs. Because every year we're the number one seed. You got that pressure on your head. Now they're just playing with house money because everybody thinks it's the Sixers and the Nets. You put up Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday. First of all, you talk about 3 great defenders. That's 3 right there, especially Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday come playoff times. It's something about his mentality or something. He just goes off. He locks up everybody.
We all know the recipe to beat the Bucks in the playoffs.
Yeah, but there's no more Bledsoe. It's Drew Holiday is that third piece, and Drew Holiday is miles ahead of Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, but Giannis is going to try and do too much as usual when the games matter.
That's where
they're going to choke.
That's where Drew Holiday being able to handle the ball and actually score, not just be able to handle the ball and do the dumbest layup you've ever seen in life or shoot a mid-range off the backboard like Eric Bledsoe would do. Drew Holiday, you get the ball in his hands, he knows what he's going to do. He knows what he's going to do. And not only that, when you put Drew Holiday on the floor, it's like the Jalen Ramsey effect. He blankets somebody. He takes them out of the game. That's what Girardi does, bro. And while giving you at least 18 on the other end.
All right, so you're saying that they're going to beat the Nets?
I'm saying if they played the Sixers, I'm not betting on that series.
All right, but it's if everything were to end
Because
today,
they would, yeah, if it stayed the way it is, they would play the Nets. They could, honestly, because they don't have the difference between having Embiid and Giannis is Embiid is most of his points are going to come out of the post. It's easier to double the post than to double somebody who's running straight down the court, bro, and is going to have all weapons around him that he could pass out to. Because he's at full force. You're not going to be able to double somebody that's running down full force, bro. And you're not going to be able to double now that they have Girardi because Girardi is a much better shooter than Eric Bledsoe is. So I feel like that'd be a great series, to be honest.
nah, I got the Nets in 6. Giannis has proven to me that he cannot break through in the playoffs. Like, we all make fun of Ben that he doesn't shoot the ball. At least Giannis shoots the ball. His 3 is ugly as shit. Is he still in the 20%?
Listen,
Like,
man.
I'd rather you not shoot the ball if you're going to just shoot.
You got to respect it, though.
You're just wasting a possession, and that's how they've lost
But
in the
that
semifinals.
spaces
And the
the floor
conference
so much more than Ben
out,
Simmons.
You
So
don't
what?
care about the one possession. You
No,
care
no,
about
hold on. Honestly, what's the difference between losing in the semi-conference finals each year or the conference finals each year? If you're not even going to make the finals, it really isn't a difference because the Bucks just keep on losing in the conference finals or the semis.
Yeah,
So what's the difference?
But
Because they haven't changed.
It's the experience. The experience of getting there, knowing,
The experience of keep on shooting 20. He's going to do too much. He's going to try and do too much.
I'd rather have somebody that tries their hardest to try and win a game than have somebody who won't.
At the end of the day, it's a loss.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, we have Joel Embiid, who's better than Giannis, right? He is. It's not even close.
I don't know about that, Jimmy.
This year, it's not even close.
I don't know about that, Jimmy. You talking about
overall career, it's close, but this year it's not even close.
You talking about
Joel Embiid is the MVP of the league.
He's a 2-time MVP.
Okay.
He's a 2-time MVP.
He's never going to get it again if he doesn't make it past the conference finals.
The same can be said about Embiid.
But Embiid has never been to the conference finals.
Aren't Embiid and Giannis the same age, or is Embiid kind of older than him? I think Embiid might be older than him.
Embiid's 26, and he's played 5 years. Giannis is in his 7th season.
Yeah, but you can't hold Giannis accountable for the fact that a guy literally said, "I'm not playing my first 2 years."
He didn't say it. He was hurt. Don't get on this. Don't get on this weird Donovan Mitchell shit. Wearing T-shirts that say the definition of a rookie.
Nah, that was weird. That was weird. Because I know for a fact he didn't have a problem with John Wall or Blake Griffin doing it. So that was weird by him. I always thought that was weird.
Nah,
that was back when I thought Ben was the Australian god, but now he's the Australian Ben.
He's the Australian Joker.
Yeah, because then Jokic got the name Joker. He's actually really good. Yeah, so we got to cancel that name now. Another name gone for the Jenner. Matt, just call it the Australian Jenner.
Nah, he's the Fresh Prince.
Nah, the Australian Jenner. Stop with that. Stop. He's nowhere near LeBron. LeBron is the king, and Ben Simmons is
Fresh Prince.
Who is Ben?
Fresh Prince.
Ben is Carlton.
He's a peasant.
No. Ben is Carlton. So
and Embiid is Will Smith.
He's the Fresh Prince, yeah. And then you got Carlton.
But that's a great duo.
You remember
that's an all-time great duo.
I don't think you remember the basketball episode of that show where there's the meme.
I'm taking the basketball.
Carlton takes the last shot. Airball. So I don't think you want to compare them.
Take the basketball out of it. They're a great duo.
No.
But yeah. Boys, it's been a fun show. We'll go back to the
by the way, Embiid is older than Giannis by 1 year.
So Embiid's 26, Giannis 25.
No, 27, 26.
27, 26, and Ben is 24. So it is more likely that the Sixers make the finals rather than the Phillies make the playoffs. Right now, I agree to the poll. I've not changed my mind yet. It's been a fun show. Phillies really suck when Matt Moore and Chase Anderson play. Sixers really suck when Ben Simmons doesn't play.
Okay, hold on. I got a good reference from Joey in the chat. He said, hold on, Carlton is my guy. Ben is Jazzy Jeff, and he needs to be thrown out of Philly. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. He is Jazz. He needs to be thrown out. Like, you know how Jazz gets thrown out the house? They need to throw Ben out of Philly.
Jamar, before we leave tonight, this has proven my point that we need Ben Simmons on the floor to win this year, and it's not even close. If James Harden doesn't defend, and when the defense gets when the defense gets tight in the playoffs, we'll see what happens.
James Harden's defense, but
I think Ben Simmons is going to thrive in the playoffs this year. I think he's just going to have a breakout playoff year. All-Star Ben's going to be activated. That's going to be my hot take, even though I don't really think it should be a hot take. I think it should be a given. He shows up in the spotlight, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Next week, we have a big draft show because we're 10 days away. When we're on the air next week, it'll be 3 days away. So we will be discussing whether we want offense or defense, whether we'd want Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith, whether we want Surtain, Micah Parsons, or J.C. Horn, any of those guys. We'll see what happens. So we'll have a big draft show. We'll talk more Phillies, more Sixers. It was a fun night. Thank you so much, John, for coming on. You're always welcome. Evan, it was fun. We got to go, though. Yep. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you next week.